What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream. We are live with more coverage of the T5S2 Season 2 Invitational. This time, we have over here in the red, Mr. Black, a.k.a. Rex Moyer, playing Necrons, returning to the table, versus, in his first game in the Invitational, Jonathan, also known as Matt Damon, Matt Damon himself, who did not click his name tag, I'm just now noticing, but he is in the blue, playing Harlequins. Actually, just kidding, that was a lie. I'm lied to you, chat. I apologize. He's playing Mixed Eldari. And I'm joined by Shuma. What's up, Shuma? How's it going?
So, if there are any Yanari in the list, isn't it entirely a Yanari force? Because, like
no.
You know, they're a part of the Yanari cult.
Nope.
They follow.
Nope, that's not how it works.
The Death God guy.
We are good to go then.
You gotta be a Yanari detachment.
I think Matt Damon, the famous Matt Damon, knows.
Famous Hollywood actor Matt
he's
Damon.
Building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are some pretty spicy lists. I just had to roll to go first. It looks like Matt Damon's going first. Famous Hollywood actor Matt Damon is going to take this first turn.
You know, Henry Cavill likes to put together custodies, but Matt Damon just grinds the tournament circuit, okay?
There he is. Famous Hollywood actor Matt Damon.
Words.
So this joke isn't lost on people. I'm going to see if I can get Jonathan to click his name tag.
Please do. We need that in there. That's good for SEO.
Jonathan, could I get you to click your name tag on the...
Oh, yeah, I can do that for you.
Thanks, Matt.
Matt Damon.
Perfect.
What if
There
you click that and
else?
what if you click that and it was like, I don't know, like Dennis Rodman or some other famous Hollywood actor?
Another famous actor.
Yeah.
That would be wild. So let's talk about these lists because I think they're pretty cool. We've seen Rex's list on the table before, but Matt Damon's list, Jonathan's list is a newbie, I guess, to the tournament, and it's normal Harlequin stuff, but it's got some spice, and I like that. You can exclamation point list, chat in the chat, and that will give you the list if you want to follow along with us. But this list is starting off strong with a patrol detachment of craft worlds, a custom craft world that gives superior shurikens, which is plus 6 inches of range on your shuriken catapults, which affects exactly one model in the detachment, as well as Children of Prophecy, which counts your 1s to cast your psychic powers as instead 2s, which is much better than a 1. Almost twice as good, in fact. We have Farseer Skyrunner, who is the only model that is affected by any of these traits, so we have designed an entire craft world entirely around this one Farseer, so I hope that she feels good about herself.
She's like the dear leader of that craft world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, her face is on posters plastered on every government building. Following her around as her attendant helper is Yvraine, the cat lady herself, as well as a unit of rangers. I think we're going to maybe deploy some scramblers with those rangers, because that is a secondary that Jonathan has taken. And they are hiding in the webway right now. We also have a battalion from Harlequins bringing Soaring Spite, the classic Soaring Spite. No weird Frozen Stars technology here. We're just shooting people with fusion pistols. That's bringing a Shadow Seer as well as the Smash Troopmaster with the Twilight Fang as well as Darkness Bite to deal mortal wounds. A couple big units of Harlequin troopers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 each, with a mix of caresses and embraces, as well as 5 troops with all fusion pistols. Excuse me. A Death Jester packing the Humbling Cruelty, as well as 3 units of Skyweavers, 2 units of 3, 1 unit of 4, all Haywire Cannons and Zephyr Glaives in there, as well as, to top it all off, the garnish on the top of the delicious Eldari pie. It is 3 Starweaver transports for those 3 fusion pistol Harlequin squads. Pretty interesting list. We got some new technology in this one we haven't really seen in Harlequin lists, or I guess mixed Eldari lists before. In that custom craft world detachment. What do you think about that, Shuma?
I think it's interesting. It provides a little bit of flexibility in casting. a lot of the Eldar defensive powers are kind of like faction locked now, but correct me if I'm wrong, the offensive powers are or are not currently faction locked, like Doom.
They are.
Jinx.
Yeah. They.
Okay.
You target an enemy with them, but only same sub-faction units get the benefit of +1 hit or rerolls from them.
So I suppose I'm a little bit confused by such a minimalist Eldari inclusion. Then, what do you think the big benefit is here?
So I think part of it is that Jonathan maybe wanted a slightly more reliable source of scramblers, which is what these Rangers are for, and they did just get a really big points break in the January FAQ. I think they dropped 2 points a
4 or 5
is that
points?
right? Yeah.
Was it 2? I thought they dropped from like 17 to like 13.
Were they? Yeah, they were very expensive before. They were too expensive for what they do, and now they're just like an expensive Ripper Swarm. You know, they're just acolyte hybrids with extra steps. They get to go into the webway and pop out. Maybe they shoot some people with the rifles, but mostly they're just going to drop a scrambler and then get killed, and that's all you need them for.
Don't they have fewer steps than acolyte hybrids?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Acolyte hybrids, when they move, they can take more steps because they have more limbs. So that's is that true? Do they have 4 arms? I don't remember now. No, they have 3. They're in the middle. They have 3 arms.
They walk on all 5 arms.
I know about Gene Stealer cult stuff.
I do like the Sea of Rain pick.
Yeah.
Out of this list specifically as well. I do think that it is an interesting like tactical tech play because you oftentimes don't want to spend your fusion units just running the touchdown for the scramblers. Like you oftentimes can't really dedicate those units. They really need to constantly be just dashing onto objectives and stealing them. So It's not a bad pick to just like give you the easy one for free, essentially.
Yeah, so interestingly as well, I believe Yvraine has a rule that lets her go into any of Eldari transport, so she can go inside a Skyweaver, which I think is what we're seeing here.
I don't know how she would fit.
She just bundles up that dress, I guess. The cat carries it for her as she gets in.
I guess she saves the space with the nose that her TTS model does not have. Like we Krillin in this game today.
She does have a bit of a squished head there.
Just still has that donk though. I managed to come across.
Yeah. So yeah, that you do need you probably need a sort of an extra extension on the back of that Skyweaver to mount that caboose, I think.
It just looks like one of those like wedding procession cars with the bride's dress is just like flying out the back the whole time.
Exactly. So that is interesting. She can you can sort of deposit her up the table pretty quickly. And as chat's pointing out here, we did get a look at the psychic powers of the on these models before the game, and we've taken all offensive powers on the Farseer Skyrunner. So he has Executioner as well as Mind War. So or she's gonna do a bunch of mortal wounds, I guess, which is pretty good into a Necron matchup where you're trying to get around reanimation protocols.
And then you have Rain has Smite, and she has like a false Smite as well following that, right? And that's a form of damage output that Harlequin lists just don't typically have access to, because your Shadow Seers are almost exclusively back there just pumping the speed on Skyweavers or same such units.
Yeah.
They don't have the time or inclination to put themselves in danger to throw out a Smite.
Yeah, I wonder if as we move to potentially a more heavily armored meta, with Death Guard becoming more popular, maybe like a small package like this that can put out, I mean, like, honestly, like 9 mortal wounds a turn for just one detachment, it might be worthwhile. And then you also get the benefit of those easily deep strikeable infantry units. And you just get more characters that you can run into objectives and hide with Starweavers. So it seems really good to me, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I think the incoming boogeyman that everyone just sees rolling down the hill of Death Guard honestly are not great against smites.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their increased wound number helps, but the loss of the damage prevention they would typically have kind of hurts quite a bit. Like, most of their demon engines are distinctly vulnerable to smites at this point. And Mortarion himself, that's one of the best ways to bring him down.
Absolutely. Other than that, mostly a standard Harlequin list, but I do like that it's a little bit different. Moving over to Rex's list here. Oh, yeah.
They only have 5 data sheets. They only have 5 data sheets, you know? You can only mix those so far.
I'm yet to see a Void Weaver in a finals game. Where is that, Harlequin players? Get your Void Weavers out.
I found out those existed last week. I didn't even know that was a mock.
I played against one time, and I was shocked that I'd never seen it before. It's a cool model. It's a Star Weaver, but it replaces the crew compartment with a big gun. That's sick. Where's the Solitaire? I don't believe we have a Solitaire in this list, chat. There's no Solitaire.
He's at home.
He's at home being too expensive, I think. You could have a Solitaire, or you could have a 65-point Troopmaster for like half the cost. And, you know, one of these things is not like the others. Moving over to Rex's list. This is another pretty spicy one also. I really like this list, and I think the damage output that we've seen from it in the past is pretty impressive. It's bringing in a custom Dynasty out of Necrons. Big shocker, everyone. It's relentlessly expansionist and Eternal Conquerors. Whoa, we get a pregame move and everything is OBSEC. Pretty good.
I mean, they are relentless and expansionist, so that, you know, that Forge World is just, or that Tomb World is just going to continue to take over the metagame until that's all you see.
Yeah, absolutely. They've expanded over the entirety of the Necron meta, for sure.
It's like they're so relentless at it.
Whoa! And they're going to be there forever. Because they've conquered it eternally. Boom. But interestingly, we have a motley assortment of character HQ choices in this list, which I love. We're getting to see some weirdos in here. We have a patrol detachment out of the custom Dynasty, as you would expect, being led by none other than the Illuminor himself, Illuminor Seraz, who is a pretty cool guy. He can modify your dudes to give them additional stats. He can also, I mean, that's mostly what he does, but that's pretty sweet all by itself. We also have a unit of 5 Immortals, as well as 2 units of 5 Canoptech Wraiths to make use of that OBSEC ability with their speed and their invulnerable saves.
That's not the only thing Illuminor does.
He also punches people really hard.
And he makes your psychic abilities a little worse if you are way too close to him.
Sick. Amazing. We also have a second patrol detachment led by Anrakir the Traveler. We learned the other day that he can take over enemy vehicles and make them shoot each other, which is amazing. He also has...
Great against Knights.
It is great against Knights. That's absolutely true. He also has faction agnostic aura abilities. So a Relentless March and My Will Be Done both target any faction of Necrons. So he doesn't necessarily have to be in his own dynasty for that. We have a unit of Immortals in that detachment as well, and a Hexmark Destroyer, who I don't know. I guess that guy could be pretty useful just knocking off some players here, because he does shoot a whole bunch of times. And he also is packing the Gauntlet of the Conflagrator. So it's a big kind of flamethrower thing that deals mortal wounds, which is pretty sweet.
It's a really fun tech play against specifically things like Bloodletter Bombs or other forms of Deep Strike charging, where they announce that they're going to Deep Strike. You deploy him between the unit that they might attempt to charge, and the charging unit. You then use the Gauntlet of Conflagrator in Overwatch. And I believe you can fire it again immediately afterwards. As the second pistol you fire when you fire again, because you cause a casualty with a pistol. So it's this. It's like this interesting tech pick against deep striking units. Not gonna deal with. I mean, it's cool here. Like, it's probably gonna kill the players, but that guy's got like some like a deep tech use case.
Yeah, he's also he's good anti-strategic reserve technology too. Just in general, like we're seeing all sorts of stuff come out, because he's a Deathmark, so he can hunter from hyperspace to shoot you when you pop in.
Yeah, those scramblers are gonna be hard to pull off, actually.
Yeah, so
they're gonna get conflagrated.
So especially like you can imagine a Repentia squad dropping in, right? And this guy intercepts them and just like blasts the entire squad to death, which is like sick tech. Let's be real. So that's really cool. Also, that's like a really cool model, so I'm really excited to see that it's seeing some sort of high level play. We also have 10 Lich Guard to just take the center of the table essentially and be an indomitable wall. I learned the other day that their dispersion shields were updated to just be storm shields, so they gave them a 2+ armor save, which is amazing.
They still reflect bullets back at you.
There used to be a stratagem. I'm not sure that they're doing it anymore. We also have 2 units of Tomb Blades, 1 of 5 with Particle Beamers, and a big one of 8 with all with Tesla Carbines and a couple Shield Vanes sprinkled in there as well. Some cool technology with the Shield Vanes is you can actually take your wounds on the Shield Vanes and then just regenerate them. So you get, even if you don't have all of your Tomb Blades equipped with Shield Vanes, you can get multiple uses out of a single one, which is really cool. And then last but certainly not least, we have the great man himself. He won't tell you his name, so I'll have to do it for you. And that is the Silent King. He won't tell you because he's silent. That's the joke. Just so we're clear.
I'm playing all of the clapping sound effects, like the canned laughter sound effects we've got on soundboard here for you.
So it looks like the Harlequins coming out of the gate with a pretty defensive play to start with, just pushing forward to objective 4. This is priority target.
Dino spotted.
So thanks, chat. So the players were able to move the objectives around before the game started, and it looks like Rex has moved objective 4 closer forward, so he's gonna the Harlequins are gonna have to move out of their comfort zone a little bit in order to engage. But staying relatively safe, we have a couple shots able to be taken on small units of Skyweavers, but for the most part, I don't know if we're going to lose too much this turn. Silent clapping sound effects.
Question: If the Silent King falls down in a forest, and everyone's there to see it, but like he's the Silent King, you know?
Yeah.
Does it make a sound?
No. He's never made a sound.
That's correct.
It's always silent.
You have passed.
Yes,
you get your driver's license. That was correct. Question on the test. You made it.
Thanks.
Sweet. So the Harlequins, firing all of their rage and hatred, managed to kill 3 immortals on their turn. Impressive.
Good stuff. Very exciting. I want to note as well, chat, we are going to be joined by another game sometime pretty soon. Looks like they're just getting set up right now, so we're going to be simulcasting it, which is very exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up, and I'm going to throw it back to Shuma and the players' mics here as I'm doing that.
Can't handle this kind of pressure.
Oh, yeah, look out. It's on now, buddy.
Rex aggressively pushing the Tomb Blades up onto objective 3. 30. He likes taking those with the particle beamers. It's the cheapest choice on them, but it's an assault 6 weapon, which will serve them pretty well into these, toughness 3 Harlequins that are typically relying on an invuln anyway. So the AP0 on the gun won't do much.
And as we've seen, at least we saw in his last game, a big unit of 8 all Tesla carbines does like
made a mistake by moving Sarah's first.
An obscene amount of damage. So much damage. Yeah, we had almost ripped an Admech plane out of the sky just by itself. No help, just blasted them. It's just so many dice, and then the Tesla double explosions is just insane. So
I can advance
it's really
on that
solid.
side, I guess. We're gonna move these Lich Guard. I might as well advance with them just for the extra range.
Sure.
4 plus 7, 11.
Uh-huh.
Luke 1705. Only 3 dead boys in 20-man squad. It is true, it's only 3. You typically see 30 boy squads. It's kind of a counter orc or gaunt carpet or bloodletter play. When you're seeing these really big blocks, the Hexmark Destroyer himself will also just kill 11 of those models with the rest of his guns.
Have -1 natively
so that
shooting.
the relic add-on tends to add 5 more on squads of 30 models.
Spend a CP. Do the Star Weavers also have -1 to hit?
And you can just shove him in the between squads to force
Then
those
I'm
plays
not
on your
gonna
opponent's turn
spend
as a
strap
form
on
of
that.
Overwatch.
Wait, they hit plus
He also fires
+1,
it twice
ignore penalty
because
for
he
moving.
bans and fires
Okay, so
at
I'm
their
gonna
deep
spend a
striking
CP
unit,
on the,
and then also if he's just standing
yeah.
in the way, is also
Blades
just a
to
target that you
ignore the penalty
Overwatch
for
with, and then you
advancing
fire
with
it
assault
again.
weapon.
Sure.
We'll move.
Also,
And right here,
it hits on
such as
2s in
with the
Overwatch,
Lich
so it
Guard,
just hits with like
Let's see
every
a
shot
Skywalker.
in Overwatch as well as its normal shooting.
Yeah, easy enough.
Admittedly, it's not as cool as a play as it was back when hordes were a little more prevalent.
These
But
immortals
the
are
tech pick to
going
just let it just land and kill
advance.
Lictor, or take out commandos, or whatever thing they have that's
Anyways.
attempting to get
So they don't
scramblers
gain a
is a
protocol,
great
they're
way
still
to deny
within
your
6.
opponent 10 points.
Which they're not, so they're 5 + 6,
Yeah.
they're going 11.
Yeah, given that, like, how prevalent strategic reserves have become, not only just regular deep strikes, but
might as
also
well.
just, like,
These
coming off the
Wraiths,
table edge
We'll go ahead and advance with them
to
as
score
well.
those scramblers, it seems like an awesome pick. And also, we saw him in the last game almost just entirely overturn
Yeah, 'cause they're within 6 and
Alex, or Chris Kinnear's
Okay, so they have
plan
protocol, so they're
to
going 13 plus
just, like, sort of hunker
plus
on banners the
however much
entire
is
game,
5.
because that dude just pops up
Go
and
18.
blasts, like, an entire infantry squad off the table. Like, even if you're bringing some idiots to sit on your backline and hang out, you always have to be screening out your table edges, because putting one, like, little dude right in the backline could just kill those guys instantaneously.
Yeah. He's also, even in scenarios where you don't have an opponent that's ever going to strategic reserve, it's a single model infantry squad, so it's pretty good at scrambling or doing any number of actions
Yeah, he
that
can't scramble, right, 'cause
otherwise
he's
don't
a
want to
character,
spend.
But
Is he? I didn't think he was. I thought he was just a dude.
I believe that he is.
Let's tidy up these numbers.
Oh, no, you are right.
Yeah.
Womp womp. There goes that fun.
Got him.
He can prevent people from scrambling,
He
but
can
he can
deploy-
never know
he can-
the
he
joy
can
of
put banners
deploying
up.
a scrambler himself.
He can do the banners.
You can put banners up. You can.
Alright, so 3 will have cover. That's fine. Okay. These immortals. Do I need to move
Apologies,
them?
everybody.
Let's advance with them.
I like the camera wipe animation you use when swapping between games. It's very,
Protocols for that.
Very
very
professional.
prequel trilogy.
7.
That's what we need is they had a weird. They used to do like a circle wipe, right? Too.
Oh, he used every
It was
single
just
wipe that you had in
every-
Adobe After Effects.
Yeah, every iMovie stock transition was used in those movies.
They had the ones where it would like fade to like a circle, like the circle would just expand from like the side of the screen for no reason. It was great.
Amazing.
What a cinematographer.
And do I want to put one on the
The man is editing movies.
You're gonna kill my wraiths?
So I am gonna go ahead and throw it to our alternate table here. They're just setting up right now.
All right.
But we have Ash C, a.k.a. Canton, known on Steam apparently as Rentar, playing Sororitas over here on the blue side versus, on the red side, appropriately, Alex Squires playing Adeptus Mechanicus on Battle Lines. I think this game's going to be a really interesting one. Adeptus Mechanicus so far has been sort of the boogeyman, I think, of the event, especially Chris Kinnear's Flyers list. Holy crap, that looks almost unstoppable. But the Alex's one has proven to be a little bit. It does bleed, I guess. It's a little bit less immortal, given his incredibly tight game with Valdor earlier this week, which was super fun to watch. We got planes fighting fire raptors, amazing, so cool. So it's really going to be a question of whether or not Ash's Retributors and her flying units can knock out these Fusiliers before they're able to do too much damage. Because I think that it seems likely that she's going to be able to deliver her melee units, given that how resilient her rhinos are going to be this game. But as soon as she can get those bombs out of there, it's going to be pretty solid.
It'll be an interesting matchup. Certainly, all the Admech games so far have, and to no detriment to the players, every single one of them has gone first, right? And these are just hardcore Alpha Strike lists in a lot of regards. So a lot of their interactions on the table have been to just deliver this like dizzying haymaker punch that the opponent never quite recovers from.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't work very well into these kind of like Rhino-based sisters lists that are usually very happy to deploy completely out of line of sight, but because of their transport coverage, the bombers themselves don't tend to hit very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, Ash is also telling me that she's got some technology up her sleeve to stop some of the tricks that the Adeptus Mechanicus can do. In this matchup specifically, her she has to protect her defensive auras from the filament countermeasure strat that the Mechanicus planes can project from their command uplinks. So she has a very specific deployment pattern that she's set up so that the planes cannot possibly land within 6 inches of her defensive auras, which I think is really appropriate. Cool. Yeah, she's setting up to be as difficult to hit with the Ballastarii as possible. Alex's list also obviously bringing that big unit of 5 las cannon Ballastarii, which will, as Valdor in the chat's pointing out, will absolutely ace whatever vehicle they look at, basically. Oh, yeah. Almost any, non-Titanic thing in the game is that doesn't have like 1,000 billion wounds, then they will just kill.
I mean, even those, I think as we saw the other day, even one of those, we'll just trip over on its shoelaces and then decide that he's scuffed his knee too hard and run away.
Yeah. Yeah, but fortunately, they're not going to be quite as efficient against, this little light infantry that Sororitas tends to bring, so it's going to be interesting to see how well Ash can sort of navigate that problem. But
it also doesn't feel great to fire 10 las cannons at a Rhino.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Here comes my 400-point Death Star, and it kills your 70-point transport. Got him. Yeah, you're right. In fairness, though, as soon as that Rhino goes down, I mean, that opens up the models inside to get hit by the stubbers on the Fusiliers, and that's really what we want to be doing.
Yeah, Repentia do not like that.
Yeah.
At all. So Ash, I have a question about this. Oh, sorry.
No, do it to it.
Okay, so, Admech, right? These hyper-advanced technologists from the distant future who run these factories, or planet-sized factories, building all the tanks for the Imperium, right? Look at me and agree. They're the tech guys. They're the nerd guy from that, Are You a PC commercial?
Yeah.
They're the ones with horses and the cowboys. On the other side, these Spanish, conquistador / Inquisition, nuns from hell, even the slightest thing that you do, they'll send their, nightmare medieval torturers at you. They have the Gundams and the exosuits now.
Yes.
And
it makes
the transport ship just got kind of confused out to the wrong planet. The two of them at the starport, someone had their dossier and they tripped and they
it was labeled it was labeled Skitarii mech suits, and the first word got smudged, and they're I think it says Sororitas mech suits.
Yeah.
Just send them to the cathedral planet. That's fine. Looks like we lost connection with our other table, though, so that's a little awkward. Hopefully they can get them spells back up at some point.
Hopefully that doesn't signal the Steam's back to its unfortunate ways.
Yeah, we had some incredible technical difficulties this evening getting on Steam. Oh my gosh, what an odyssey that was.
We really used an admin person, but the Pony Express was going to take 2 weeks to get here.
Yeah. Chiandoc in chat, I bet they were reverse engineered from Tau battlesuits. They do look a little Tau. They got a little Tau in them. Looks like we are moving to the bottom of round 2 here. Harlequins didn't lose much. It looks like, I think, a Starweaver, a unit of Skyweavers are dead, but they were kind of put out there, I think, to force these Necrons to expose themselves out. And now we're going to sort of make fun of... we also lost one of our players in this game, too. All right, chat. Everybody's...
I see the blue disconnection symbol.
I mean, I'm in here with Trevi and Shuma still, so I think you went.
Yeah, it looks like we lost you, Rays. I've gone ahead and paused the clock for now, and so you can get back in. Good old Steam! Today, being the greatest. Looks like I might have lost Shuma. Oh my gosh. Chat, this is a mess. What a mess is happening right now. Let's see if I can get everybody back on.
Actually, looks like I lost Trevi in our Steam call too.
Failed to connect your session.
Oh no, did Steam crash again? Oh yeah, I'm disconnected on Steam too. I think Steam died again.
Looks like we might be dead in the water here, chat. I think Steam was having some problems earlier. We were having a bunch of trouble getting with the players logging in, and it eventually worked. But it looks like it may be back to its old tricks. So we might have to cut this one short. There's a Verizon fiber cut earlier today. Well, that's not good.
Like the sickest like anime attack.
Hey, Shuma, welcome back.
Hey.
I didn't have you unmuted on the call for a sec, so I don't, if I was talking and you were responding to thin air, I apologize.
Oh, I was. I said the Verizon fiber cut sounds just like a sick anime move.
You're right. I would do an anime attack voice, but I don't think I could do it justice.
Yeah, as the connection seemed to rock both of the games, our Steam-based phone call. Also
Yeah.
just meant that.
Yikes! Yikes! So, we're still chilling with Matt Damon, famous actor, Hollywood actor Matt Damon, in this game here. But if earlier today, if past is preface, then we're probably going to get kicked out of this game pretty shortly. I'm going to go ahead and back it up right now so we can go back to it if we need to.
I mean, while we're in here, we can ask Matt Damon about his upcoming role in Thor: Love and Thunder as I think a reprised citizen of Asgard.
Oh yeah, he played it. He was that guy in that play that one time, right? That was
Shouldn't have tried to play on Tuesday.
And he is reapprising his role, it seems. So the character has got another play up his sleeve.
Must be.
The other table says that they've reestablished their game, so we might be able to pop over there. See if I can find it.
If I was friends with Trevi, he could directly invite me.
We've learned anything from the recent releases for these armies, it's that maybe the sisters should be in charge of the servers and not the Admech. Some like barnyard animal robot probably just like busted into the server room and started like kicking stuff through.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, it looks like the other game is back up and running, so I guess we will go ahead and pop over there for the time being. Let me just get myself reset here. We get the sickest, like, waiting music beep happening right now. Oh, there it goes. Rip.
Oh, I think I lost one.
Speaking of the game, let's just send me
Thanks, chat. All right, I'm gonna send you back to this to the other channel over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to reconnect with the this original game.
You can miss stuff, but then again, since we're just sitting here waiting, it probably isn't up.
Yeah, it's probably over.
Steam maintenance seems to be having issues. That's from a mod. It just popped up.
Hey, I'm back in.
All my coding is gone, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna color my stuff too real quick.
Anton, relying on the chat, not having a particularly wide language set.
Who was sending messages? Alright, are we ready to go again, Trevi? Okay. Alright, so cool. I'll just start the timer again. Alright. Okay, cool. Alright, so what is 18 from this man look like? So 18 is there. So we want to move Yvrain over and just...
Okay, our other game's back up and running as well, so it looks like a momentary hiccup, but we are good to go. Get my toolbox out of here. It's been an interesting adventure playing Warhammer 40k tonight. This is like the equivalent of playing at your LGS and the fire alarm goes off, I think.
Didn't that keep happening?
It did? That happened to us multiple times.
Was it literally the last time we went there? Like, it went off like 3 times. We had our masks on, and it was just a nightmare.
I think, yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, it looks like I think we're just finishing up deployment on the Admech versus Sisters table, so we're gonna head on over back to Harlequins versus Necrons, where we're just continuing with bottom of round 2.
I like to call them the Harlequins.
You gnarly quins?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm in. I'm into you gnarly quins. It really rolls off the tongue, you know?
No, you Harlequins, not you know.
Our army is minimal toughness.
Right. Okay, so we're going to spend a CP to auto-advance these red guys 14 inches.
Looks like we're... Ooh, aggressive moves from Jonathan. I love this. Just... We're auto-advancing a unit of players directly into these Canoptek raids.
That could be a good move. What do these players have? Harlequins and braces? Never mind. These are not equipped for this fight. I mean, they'll still absolutely just like savage this unit with the vast number of attacks that they're getting.
Yeah, they have a lot of caresses in the unit, I think.
Yeah. But even with the caress, they're only winning on 4s, or do they get +1 to it?
They are going to only be winning on 4s.
Pull this trap for +1 damage, though.
Yeah.
You only need to plow through 12 wounds on a 4 save. 15, actually. There's
and the Troop Master's coming out of this Star Weaver here, so they're going to have full rerolls to wound here.
Yeah.
So I think this should be probably curtains for this raid squad.
But I think
Do you think they'll spend the use that strat?
Well, I'm going to get engaged no matter what.
Well, it would be curtains on the player squad, right? It wouldn't be on the raid squad.
What's killing these things?
No, I think the players are going to kill the raids.
Yeah, but don't they then, Oh, what's that? Oh, is that what's the name of that strat? The one where they kill you and then run away?
Curtain falls?
Yeah.
Maybe just like...
they make curtain fall away. Oh, okay, I get it. You're smarter than I am.
You had me questioning like this strat. I'm like, wait, is it not called that? Did this joke make no sense?
Yeah, no, that joke was real. That was way over my head. That was too intelligent for me, in fact.
Troop Master's gonna get out.
Too intelligent.
You call yourself a Tyranid player. Biggest brain requirement of
biggest brain in the game.
All armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad, I hope the server crashing does not continue, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're all on this roller coaster together, right? You know, the bar's down, we're all sitting in here, and we're really hoping this car does not go off the coaster.
Yeah.
As a group.
It'd be a terrible idea.
Speaking of just terrible fates, what do you think Zarek shoots these Triacle men here into? Or even better, this Tachyon era?
I think you just hope to live the dream and one-shot a Starweaver just every turn.
Yeah.
It's like, whoop, 6 damage! Get directly out of here. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 victory points. Just die. Also, as we saw Ray's use in his last game, he has the strat to automatically wound when you roll a hit. Which is kind of awesome. Really just removes some variance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He also has 13 command points to start with in this list, so he just burns every stratagem he can. He's just like, I don't know, I got too many of these things.
We have seen he is willing to burn on What was the no escape stratagem?
Sight to the Tomb Blades.
cut them down.
Yeah, cut them down. He is willing to spend on a cut them
Yeah,
down.
I can. So we can shoot.
And
In
probably
fairness,
willing to reroll it.
That was a very impactful cut them down.
first
That cut them down was worth like
Skyrider.
8 points, I think.
Yeah,
If he'd rolled that 6, which is probably worth a CP. You know.
That point
I'd say
to
so.
me.
Yeah.
Might not be a terrible idea.
Dagger D in chat really enjoyed the tier list video you guys came out with. Any idea how much the FAQ shook anything up? Yeah, there was a little. I had a little blurb at the end there talking about the FAQ, and I think some other stuff could have gotten shaken. I think for the most part we pumped up like Tyranids and Drukhari a little bit. Tyranids went to sort of like bottom A tier, and Drukhari bumped up. I don't think that the points changes for Drukhari are entirely accurate, so
I mean, if they are, then
yeah, if they are, Drukhari is solidly high B, like maybe A-ish tier. They're super good. I don't think they are though. I think we're gonna have to wait for a new codex to see how they do. But I also think that Sororitas may be unseating Harlequins as the #1 faction in the game. We were very confident that Harlequins were the #1, and their win results currently, or in Season 2 so far, were super good. But the changes to While We Stand When We Fight makes their secondary picks so much less consistent. So
conversely, though, the
Go ahead.
change to bring it down makes picking secondaries against them considerably more difficult.
Yeah, it makes it a little harder, but most Harlequin players are pretty happy when you take Bring It Down against them. Like, a lot of times you're just better off taking, like, your own While We Stands or your own maneuver secondaries. Like, basically just do the Harlequin thing. One of the reasons that they were so good is that they took... Like, they just made use of basically the 3 or 4 best stratagems, or best secondaries in the GT pack better than any other faction. And they just lost sort of one of those options. But Sororitas have just been, like, ruining people, so
Yeah.
I think they may be doing just fine.
That's another faction that benefited considerably from the change to bring it down.
Yeah, we're also, we have to see how much Death Guard shakes things up as well, because if Death Guard become popular, Sororitas's, their stock goes dramatically up, being effectively like a hard counter to Death Guard, a lot of Death Guard builds anyway.
I do not agree. Like, Rets, yes, but, like, having Repentia suddenly go from this, like, scythe that you use to cut your opponent's head off in every single game to being largely kind of a redundant throwaway squad that has a hard time finding the ability to accomplish anything is, like, a body blow to how Sisters lists currently work.
Are we hunting from hyperspace here?
Sure.
I
And then they
think we
can
are.
fire at you before the end of the movement phase.
Sounds good to me.
Amazing. So trying to drop the Rangers in from the webway to drop a Scrambler down and raise his deployment zone, but here comes the Hexmark Destroyer. It's gonna say no.
He's gonna take you up a point, so that's fine.
Okay. Fire away.
So do you think it uses
He'll start with the Gauntlet of the Conflagrator.
the
5
pistol
shots.
here, the Gauntlet of
6
the
cost mortal
Conflagrator?
Mhm.
Yes.
It just shoots that anyway, right? Because it
Yes.
shoots all
Ooh,
the
Here it
pistols.
goes,
Okay,
2
good
from
start.
the
6
Gauntlet.
pistol shots,
Oh.
hitting on 2s.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
And winning
All
on
hits.
All of the pistols hit.
Yep.
Winning on
All of
2s,
them
small
hit.
6 saves at
wound.
-1.
GG.
So I got 6 up
Rangers.
saves. Let's go, guys.
They are
No,
dead.
dead.
Oh,
And
brutal.
even if they had survived that for every one of those,
Yeah.
he would have gotten 3 additional
That
shots.
was-
Yes.
Or I guess 2 had there been left 1.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What tech? I
What a
love
tech.
it.
He is made of technology, and also that's a great technique.
Yes.
Also, it's just a cool model.
He is. I'm so glad this guy's seeing play. What a sick dude he is. Look at all his
So-
guns. He's got so many guns.
People were so, like, at the start of the Codex, people were looking at that thing and they're just like, it's just not, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
You know, what am I even going to use it for? And it turns out just denying your opponent 10 points in every single game fairly reliably, pretty good use case.
Pretty good. Yeah, I think you have to maybe like wait until one of your Harlequin troops is also deep striking at the same time to maybe trigger that. But that looked like maybe Jonathan wasn't aware of the technology, and he
You know
ran
what I-
directly face first into it.
She takes D3.
You know what I love about that guy?
Nice.
Is if your opponent has a drop pod, and the drop pod lands and lets out this hyper valuable unit,
Yeah.
this idiot shoots the drop pod.
He does.
Good job, Shadow,
What a fool.
Your rain will do smite. This will be into the immortals. That does go off with a 9. I think. Can you deny? Oh no, you're not in range. So D3, into the Immortals.
Dude's saying the new walkers suck. No, the gun walker's
And
good.
we'll do Gauge
The
Need,
little reanimation guy, he's
which
He is
also
bad.
goes
He's
off.
bad.
Oh,
But also,
those
he's like
spikes.
a third the
So
size.
Yeah,
what
the new
happens-
Gunwalker, they're interesting. They're effectively Doomsday Arcs with extra snaps, right?
No, the
into
Doomsday Arcs that
anything.
cost less and are harder to kill and have more
So the
guns.
stipulations is just a
They're
normal
they're like strictly
Yeah,
better, more
it's just
pushed
a
Doomsday
D3
Arcs.
smite, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, is it closest visible? That's all.
No, it's,
I think
I can choose.
the niche of just
Okay,
being a
Okay.
direct fire Doom
First
cannon
we
is
need
just
to-
maybe fallen out of favor in the meta,
Yeah.
where the real Doomfire
And I
cannon
mean,
is
at
carried
the end
by
of the day, he was the only
a woman
person
on the
that
other
was-
side of a wall.
Right, that's what I was asking. Like,
Then they
yeah,
take
being
one
able to
step and
dock
fire
them.
you before you get to it. Though.
Alright, Farseer is going to Executioner, which goes off. So D3 into the Tomb Blades for 2, and then another.
Kill.
Yep, and then another D3 for 1.
Okay. Let's see.
So it looks like we've begun the
Which Tomb
smitening,
Blades do I wanna kill? I don't think it
starting to knock the
matters.
Tomb Blades
So,
off with
this guy.
Executioners.
Actually, no. I'm gonna pull from the back.
Okay.
Okay.
That is the second phase. So shooting.
Rex flipping them over
let's
instead of
do-
removing them. Good for morale, but we got to make sure that
4
we don't
bites
try and reanimate
into,
those.
Yeah.
The big boy.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't reanimate after
4
mortal
There
wounds.
shots. Don't roll like the bikes did last turn, please.
You think
Okay.
Sarek ever turns one of those men here sideways
they
and
rolled
rides
like the
around
Rex
like the
did last
Silver
time.
Surfer?
10
Yes.
shots.
10.
That is in fact
I
their
mean-
express purpose.
I guess, yeah. 3s. And what's his toughness? 7, I assume? So 2 saves at -1.
Okay, so on a 2-up.
Yep.
So do a 3-up. That's fine.
Okay, and then 2d3 mortals.
Yeah,
for
despite being like an
3,
entire
4, 5, 6 mortal wounds.
mini
So
car,
one Minier
like
dies,
those little
and the other
cars.
Minier takes 1.
A Tomb Blade only has about 2
Okay,
wounds, so they are very
so
vulnerable to
this
smites.
spike
Yeah, it's
can
literally
see the
just
big boy,
a
but the other
Necron warrior
two
on a bike,
can,
right?
So this spike will just
Just
shoot
uses
at
sort of
Tomb
the
Blades,
standard
and the other 2
Yeah.
will go into.
Necron
so-
warrior stats, but plus the
First
bike
two to
bonuses that
Silent King.
everybody gets.
If that bike was a
Shots.
horse, that dude would have like 8
7
wounds.
You're not wrong.
on 3s.
We just gotta put legs on the bike and it'll be good. That's what a Triarch Stalker is. We figured it out.
All right, so
Yeah.
1 save at -1.
So this is Haywire going
Mortals.
into the Silent King, an awesome way to deal with his defensive technology as well.
D3 is 3,
Hilariously,
so,
he would normally get a 5+ damage ignore against mortal wounds, but he doesn't because he's a dynastic agent. Doesn't get his own
yeah.
sub-faction trait. What a silly dummy.
Okay.
Everyone's
Take
like,
it.
lead a Silent King. What is your dynasty command? And he's just like, he just like looks at them.
Yeah, he remains silent.
Hits and 5s. That's 1 wound and
Silent King, aren't you gonna take your 5+ damage ignore against those mortal wounds?
Okay.
The Silent King did not respond.
It's just like
let's
an
do
implacable
fusion
scowl.
pistols into the Tomb Blades. 5 of them.
It turns out, you'd think that would make you harder to deal mortal wounds to, but it turns out that
And 3.
you actually have to, I guess, shout raucously in order to get a damage ignore
Okay,
against mortals.
so you killed.
You think
Yep.
giving out commands via "My will be done" would be seriously inhibited by a man who cannot speak, but
Right.
he pulls it off just fine.
What is your will, sire?
Let's go ahead and
We'll
shoot
never know.
with. Let's do Death Jester into Tomb Blades.
Famously, the
Threes.
Silent King does not have a
No
Twitter.
hits, 3s.
He hits on 2s normally?
Yep.
Okay.
So 3 at no AP on the Tomb Blades.
3s. They're good.
Good. And then we'll do the Starweaver into them as well on 4s and 3s. 3 at no AP on the Tomb Blades.
3s again. I take a wound.
Okay. Shuriken Cannons will go into the Tomb Blades as well. On 4s and 3s. Nothing. Not a great shooting phase, I'll be honest.
What's giving the
Okay,
Tomb Blades a 3+ armor?
They haven't moved in this battle round. Oh, they don't have protocols. How do you want to do this? I think I rolled. I'll kill 1.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I don't know how
Through a
many
simple
3s you roll.
force of will, the Tomb Blades had gained.
Why? But I'm going to
3
assume I
saves,
rolled
but
at
we are now
least
deciding that they
1
did not
in
have
that
it.
last roll.
Okay, and then you can just reanimation him as well, right?
That's fair. He.
He
You
comes back
revive.
anyways. All right.
So where do I want to put him? Don't think it really matters. He's just going to revive with full wounds.
Okay. Yeah, that's the shooting phase, I believe. So
You
charging.
don't need to know rules, just roll good.
Blue lights and tomb blades.
That's what we're learning today.
Now,
Just say a
Church,
number
I'm
and
going to
roll it,
assume
and that's your
that
save.
the Troop Master has no. The Death Duster didn't shoot at me, did he?
He shot at the tomb blades.
Okay, so,
So they can't overwatch.
You're probably hoping for more damage.
This token. I'm pretty sure this
Yeah,
happened,
these,
but I wanted to double check.
Tomb Blades
Yeah,
out of all that. But, I mean,
they
the
got a
Skywivers
10.
will still
So
probably
we're
pull
gonna
this off,
do-
even if they can survive the rest of the fleet of fire that's coming at them.
Guess we could go this way.
It was definitely a play to throw them up
Well,
on
we could
Objective
move
3, and they got good shots
That
off,
seems like a good
but
idea.
not the most resilient
Should
unit
we
to toss
kill
out of there.
them?
Maybe 2 units. Like,
Yeah.
both of the units could have held it for
Yeah,
longer.
these Skyweavers have a pretty decent style line of killing the Tomb Blades, as long as if they can get
This,
rerolls,
so,
which they
I just
probably
wanna
can't
do
because the
like a
True
half
Master's
inch
all the way
of
over
this
there. But
guy.
if they could, and they can reliably wound them, they just like punch directly through them and kill them with their Zephyr Glaze.
That, and then
But
we
if
could
they do fail, though, I mean, these units are OPSEC,
This
and
guy.
Yes.
Raze has CP for days, so
Yeah.
if they get insane bravery, it's just on the table.
Just like that, okay.
Yeah, it looks like what we're
True
trying to do
Master
here is
Race.
just physically body block this Necron
Actually,
army
let's
from
do the
getting
players
too
first.
far
Players in the
forward,
race.
which is very
That's a
fair.
4. That
Fail.
is... No, it is...
It's also
it's
a
not.
little difficult, though. I mean, the Wraiths move
Just
through the
barely.
models, the Tomb Blades move.
Oh boy,
Oh, come on, stay up
Now,
there.
here we go.
these
And
players
then, Troop Master
almost
as
failed
well.
that charge. That's
Good
scary.
spot.
That would have been awkward.
He's just gonna come right to there.
I mean, as it stands, you think they can still get all of them in? I think they're
Okay,
losing
that
possibly
is
2 or even
all
3
the
models
charges
for
to
being
be
able to swing
made.
now.
Yeah,
That's a fight
pretty
phase.
meaningful.
We are starting
Yeah,
with the
it-
players.
especially when they're trying to roll up on
So
the
we're
big, the
gonna-
high toughness. It's gonna be awkward.
In.
Did the Troop Master here make it in as well?
Yes, yeah,
Don't
he's
get
in
the
there.
belt while you're piling.
No, but he can
Because they
slip
just
through there.
squeezed that
His
guy.
base
I
fire.
suppose their bases are
It's like
under
you're
range.
on
They still
top
have
of
tiny
bases,
bases.
like-
Is it? Okay.
But whoever
That's
swings
okay.
first into
You're
here,
probably not
you're
gonna
just
make
going
a
to
huge
strip out
difference.
maybe the first,
He's gonna base these front 2.
you know,
Yeah, that's fine.
3 models, which will deny
this
most of the
guy
other
will
squad's attacks.
Come this way.
Mhm.
So a full kill might be difficult here, especially if the Troop Master swings first.
And
Yeah.
This guy will come
But
here.
it doesn't look like that's happening.
This guy will go there. This guy can go to here.
Looks like while we're doing this
Hold on, say it.
fight phase, I'm gonna put it over to our other
I'll lock it.
Sure.
game here. Looks like we're underway with Adeptus Mechanicus going first. And looks like a pretty reasonable Alpha Strike. A lot of Zephyrim getting taken out here. The Bombers doing some work. Moving up the table. One of them looks like elected to remain in the back, actually. Instead of going forward to be killed by Zephyrim and Retributors. But the Retributors getting picked out by Cerberus Raiders.
Yeah, I
Fortunately,
imagine.
those ladies not by any of their defensive buffs, so they're a little bit vulnerable. What are you saying, Shima?
I was gonna say, I imagine the play is to sequence these planes in because it's difficult to get full use out of them. Like it's hard to blow up the Rhino and then its contents if you send all the planes in at once. You're kind of dedicating all of them to pulling off that one task.
Yep.
Whereas once the vehicles are gone, you can just send them in and start bombing them out kind of at your leisure. And once the Rets are gone, these planes become very hard to deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
7 out of 4. Damage 2.
And Kianton's or Rentar's sort of favorite move of the Mortifiers are a lot worse in 2 planes that reduce damage by 1. Like they'll still pull them out of the sky eventually. But it's
Yeah, I think these are command uplinks though,
not...
so they can get
not quite as
shot.
good for them. Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna eat some damage from those heavy bolters for sure. And because with the -1, there's no incentive for them not to advance, so they can just run around the table all they want, and they don't really care about the penalty to hit.
If you flip back over to the other game, the attacks into the Wraiths did not go quite as well as I think the Harlequins had hoped.
Yeah, they did okay, but we are
It'd be cool if one came back.
Troop Master
Rolling
himself is definitely out now.
yeah, we're rolling 1 billion reanimations on these
Yeah.
these Wraiths. Looks like we failed them though.
But
Rip.
not 1 billion enough.
Yeah.
I'm outside of 4.
After place
so
leadership
we should
10,
be
so
able
the
to
squad
fight.
still can't run even
Unless
with
you
that.
wanna You don't have the CP to fight twice, right?
Troopmaster failed to make it into combat.
Yeah, it looks like we're just trying to engage that Wraith,
that's
but
unfortunate.
not
That's
quite
okay,
able to
though.
do it. Ugh, leaves a 1 on 2. Awkward. I wonder if you... Would the play have been to fight first with the Troopmaster there? I guess you're open to the interrupt, though, so maybe not.
I think you run into sort of the same problem. The Troopmaster kills all of the front line of Wraiths,
But it just prevents
and then you'll attack with the players, but you're probably losing 4 or 5 models just out of
I was like,
the front row to second row issue.
Yeah.
So it could well be that you run into the same problem in the end.
Yeah, if only they rolled a larger charge, then the race would be dead. But
Yeah, probably, definitely.
that's okay. Alright.
And now this unit is just kind of like sitting in the wind. I imagine for a Tombblade squad to just pick right up off the table in the coming turn.
Yep.
No.
Okay, let's just do the bikes. It's gonna be 9 attacks into the Tomb Blades. You're only -1 to hit in shooting, right?
Correct.
Okay, so 3s,
5s?
5s, yep, strength 4. Oh, that was
Wow,
very good.
good.
5, -2.
Pretty good punch on the Tombblades.
6s then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
good save on the Tombblades.
GG
That kills the squad.
Tombblades.
That was, quite a good
Wow.
Very
All right.
good,
That's solid.
Well, you probably don't expect them to survive,
Okay,
given the fact that they were
will
kind of standing
Consolidate.
betwixt every Harlequin unit on the table.
Yeah, for sure. Although, I mean, the 5s to wound is so awkward for these Zephyr Glaives.
Okay, and then Troopmaster.
Yeah,
goes
piling off the
consolidate.
objective, like we said, just to body block, physically stop the Lich Guard from moving out. They only move 6 inches with My Will Be Done, so we could potentially see them
Alright.
sort of try to skirt the line this way. But unless they get a big charge, it's going to be awkward for them to get to objective 3.
They are, so I will get
And
3.
Harlequins don't care about sitting on the center objective because they've already
I get 10 primary.
reduced the Necrons to scoring 10 primary
No,
points.
they're still usually-
Well, do the Canoptic Wraiths themselves get the OBSEC?
We're gonna
They do,
see
Yes.
right?
My will be
Yep.
done.
And they move through objects, they move through enemy models, they have a pretty fast range, so they'll just like peel around the side, make a charge, use some of that charge to get onto objective 3 in theory, or just kill them all and then consolidate onto it.
Yeah.
But certainly keeping the Lich Guard out for one more turn is valuable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Harlequins really want to deal with the Lich Guard, honestly. Like, they're such a difficult profile for almost anything in this Harlequin army to deal with outside of the mortal wounds. So, the longer they can keep them off the center objective and keep the Necrons from trying for those 15-point primaries, I think the better for them. But if these Wraiths come out, I mean, we could basically just do the same thing we just did and sink
Alright, so we're gonna fall
a whole
back.
boatload of...
Okay. Let's get charge after it falls back.
We're placing Wraiths, cloning themselves, just hanging around.
Because they gained that rule back when the Codex dropped. Wait. Yes, they can fall back and charge.
We're pulling out and trying to make sure, I think, that we can't be followed up on.
Yeah, slinking, striking. I'll make sure I'm not within an inch.
Yeah, it should go.
Okay, so these Lich are immortals. Do I want to go punch you?
What do you think of I guess Rex's humble or love of the humble immortal versus the Necron warrior brick?
Immortals they're a little
those
bit
Wraiths are
cheaper
gonna
for a unit, right?
Well,
So if
yeah,
you're just
like
trying to keep
85
your
versus
patrols,
120.
yeah, relatively inexpensive, it's a good way to do it.
And I suppose in this relentlessly expansionist, and what is the other one? What's the OBSEC one? It's,
Eternal Conquerors.
Eternal Conqueror's style of list. You don't need the big bricks of OBSEC because everything is OBSEC.
Yep.
That said, other than being 85 points, Immortals are... They bring their own coffins to the battlefield just so that they have somewhere to lie down.
It's
Yeah.
the only problem
Like,
about
they're-
getting the colors. I can't tell when I
They're
have
very
to
much
switch.
kind of this like a do-nothing unit.
They do spend a lot of the game just taking naps in the backline. Also.
Nope. Just leapfrogging the board, going for the players here. I guess probably hoping the Lich Guard just make enough of a charge where they can run through the wall.
Yeah, we're also hoping that if we knock this troop out, that puts the Harlequins down to only 5 victory points this coming turn. Benefit of having those OBSEC on those guys, even though the Starweaver's touching, even though your brain's touching, and you may lose some guys, it's you just need one. As we're going to see on objective 3, I think this guy's about to charge into the Starweaver and clip right onto the center objective and grab that.
And tapping Yvrain also forces either a smite directly into close combat,
Yes.
or she cannot cast.
Yep.
And those are both pretty bad eventualities, because that means that they cannot then shoot at the wraiths.
Add Valdor with a 2-month subscription. Thanks, Valdor. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for supporting the channel, both on YouTube and on Twitch and on Patreon. It really helps us continue to do coverage for all of these games of 40K.
These Tomb Blades.
Much like a raging fire raptor, Valdor comes swooping in, firing his support at the channel.
Valdor rolled to go first on his subscription there, as they say. Too soon. I'm sorry, dudes.
I mean,
I'm sorry, man.
Dudes, if you hit us with the sub now too, I mean that would be kind of like going second.
Yeah.
I shouldn't need to.
Yeah. Dudes come in with the sub. Maybe we can make some special dice happen. And the next time you're on stream, maybe you'll get to go first one time.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Magnus over here with tens of thousands of years of arcane mastery, the power of the very gods themselves behind him, and as he wields the magic of the eons in his fist. Valdor on the other side. Fire Raptor goes burp.
With an awkwardly shaped Apache helicopter. Pointing at the man. Space Marine pilot just doing the sound with his tongue while he holds down the button.
So this destroyer is going to stand on the point.
Hexmark Destroyer, also 5 wounds at toughness 5, with the potential for resurrection protocols.
How does that man resurrect?
All the little legs put himself back together. You know, they all scrabble around and stick himself.
I thought you had to be in a unit to do that.
Okay, so we'll do some shooting. We'll start with these immortals against your players.
But that means that like even the haywire cannons off of these
so that's
Skyweavers kind of bounce off that dude. There's not really any shooting in this Harlequin army besides fusion pistols. Obviously, that he really needs to be worried about. So you can kind of just throw him on an objective.
Yep. Despite being a robot creature, he is not a vehicle. He's not carrying anybody. He's only carrying his own bitter rage.
5 dead.
Not ideal.
Nope, that was fortunate for me.
Chandok with the subscription also. Super appreciate
Okay,
it.
then we'll
Is that the
shoot.
Tomb Blades? That's the
Sarah.
Tomb Blades. That's
Shoot
a
at this
swing
Star
way
Weaver.
down.
Sure.
Or is that the Immortals that
Gets
just fired in
shots.
there?
That Recan 2 with the subscriptions?
Ooh.
Oh boy, they're coming in now.
Go team.
Thanks everybody.
It's fine. Hitting on a 4. Misses. Then we'll
Were you
shoot
following what just fired at these players? Was that the Tomb Blades or was that the Immortal Squad?
I wanna shoot at the Star Weaver.
That's a good question. I think it was the
Master,
Tomb
and I
Blades,
do
but
need to kill the
it
troops.
may not have been.
Only picked up 5 of them, which is a terrible swing down for what that unit could and should do. These Immortals are now in grave danger.
Yeah.
Get it?
So,
Yeah.
Grave danger?
they'll shoot
I
everything
get
at
it.
the troop.
Because they're skeletons.
Because
Trevi.
they're skeletons.
They live in the
So
tomb
we'll start with
worlds,
the damage 2
right?
weapon, which
Yes.
is
Like graves?
shots.
Which it would have skeletons in
3s
them
'cause you have
sometimes.
-1,
And their middle name is Danger?
and then 3s because it's strength.
What's their last name?
2 saves,
Corpse.
I don't know, like Archibald?
and then 9 more from the single damage weapon
GD Archibald.
on 3s, and then 3
Threes, it's
3s
strength
good
six.
strength
Apologize,
6.
I'm missing the
It's
dice box here, chat.
Ugh.
That's my bad.
Okay.
He survives, of course. Oh.
Ooh.
He takes
Real
all
bad
3
saves
though.
there.
Ooh. Well, I guess that's an attack that doesn't really matter.
Okay. Now the
Well,
question
does it
is,
not?
how,
I mean, like-
how greedy do I get?
Pulling 3 off the Starweaver, that means the, Zarek's staff can now
So I need to kill 4
fall the rest of the way down? Or
Starweavers.
was that
So
from
we'll shoot the
Zarek's
Tomb Blades next. We'll put.
Oh, here comes the Tomb Blades.
Ah,
6
okay.
Tomb Blades into the
So that
first
was
one,
Immortals.
and
Yeah.
2
Alright,
Tomb
That-
Blades
that's a pretty
into
good swing
your
on the
Star
Immortals
Weaver.
then.
Oh, it looks like we're gonna be retargeting into the
So
Immortals
start
now
with the
to try,
ones
or
on
into
your
excuse me,
Starweaver
into the
first.
Starweaver now to try to finish it off. That does have the Troopmaster in it. He's Sky Strode
8
back in
shots.
after his fight with
They
the
have
Wraiths
will
up
be down,
top.
so they're down to 2s.
So if that
they have -1, so they're back.
if we can sink the Starweaver, that leaves that guy vulnerable. Now, unfortunately,
with
for Raze,
rerolls.
it does also make it difficult for this Canoptic Wraith to charge
Okay,
onto the objective, but I don't
and
think he's
Tesla.
worried about that anymore.
It does also
Forced
present an
to
issue
wound.
where
Yep.
it presents a danger of the heroic intervention into
7
the Tomb
more
Blades.
saves.
Mhm.
Right? And this is on the
So-
server, right?
Correct.
not good in close combat.
Well, you can't,
just
as we learned in previous games,
Oh,
you
you're
cannot
right.
intervene after your transport is destroyed.
Oh, that is
So
correct.
it's
unfortunate.
just
Keep
one
forgetting
mortal
about
wound, one mortal wound. It's just
Oh, it exploded.
all it has.
Get wrecked, Necron.
it's
Oh, they only explode for one. Okay, does not kill the
it
big
did-
one.
yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
awkward.
Which has also healed back the wound it took
Players.
already.
No,
does
it took
this-
it took one last
so
one.
he can charge.
Yeah, and
he's
heal it
supposed
back,
to
which
charge,
now it's down to 2
this
again
guy can
from the
charge.
explosion.
He's probably charging
And
spikes.
Zeras can also
Right?
charge.
Oh, they're living metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
We're
go.
gonna stick to
That's
troop
obnoxious.
mass. How many attacks did the race have?
4 apiece.
And despite how many players in this, there's not enough to take
Weapon
objective
skill
3
is
No.
4.
from these Tomb Blades.
We could
So
just
we
contest
do-
it though. I guess we're just forcing the charge with the race, so I guess that doesn't really help too
Yeah.
much.
Is that not 6 Tomb Blades on it?
You know what? Who knows?
6 guys are good now.
It
One,
is
two,
legitimately
three,
hard to
Oh,
tell.
it's 8. It's a full 8. No.
Oh, it's
yeah, yeah.
that's 2 more than
We
I
were
thought.
both wrong. There's a unit of 5 and a unit of 8. In my head that was 5, but yeah, these models on these tiny bases.
Okay, so we got 6 more Tomb Blades
Yeah.
on your Skyweavers.
I love them.
Alright, the Tomb Blades, here comes the big hit here. This is the fire that made me hate this unit throughout all of 8th edition. And that's the
Wow.
roll that makes them
Hell of a
not
roll.
Oh boy.
do great.
Well, we're full rerolling thanks to the Silent King, but that did not help very much.
There's a lot of 3s in there.
Alright, so I'll just leave those
Yeah.
4, and then 4's to wound.
Yeah, it's quite
Got-
enough.
Yeah, I got a
Probably
couple
the worst I've ever
explosions
seen them
to
roll.
make up for the
Okay.
misses.
13
13.
sticks.
Only 4's to wound? It's a strength 5 weapon, isn't it?
It's 8.
Didn't matter.
Kill 2 and leave 1 on 1.
Yep.
They're in the
so what do you have left to
Shadow
shoot?
Sears aura, so they're -1 to be one.
Nothing, right?
Yep, nothing left in fire.
So
Yeah,
1, 2.
still a respectable hit.
takes 2.
Yeah, I mean, to get through these invulnerable saves, you need the DACA. We're
Just a
certainly
mass
putting that
killing
out.
fire.
That's not a good charge. Okay, we'll start with these wraiths. They're going to charge your troops, or your players.
Okay.
Anakin the
That's
Traveler,
7,
I think,
20.
has yet to fire this Tachyon arrow.
This seems like we're in a tough spot for the Harlequins right now.
I feel like it always seems that way at the end of turn 2.
Well, it always seems that way, but there's also always like 6 additional Star Weavers sitting in the back of the table, and
That's true.
currently there's
She
one.
does not have a flip.
We're down to
right?
1 Star Weaver.
She does
But
not.
we have a Farseer Skyrunner.
We do have a Farseer Skyrunner. We also have this enormous player troop over here, which is
Yeah.
gonna go ham. Although the Troop Master is on the other side of the table and in danger, so
We'll send
cue Ralph Wiggum
Sarah's
meme.
into your Skyweavers,
Sure.
or rather, the Silent King. Oh, look, he makes it.
hopefully Raze can remember the names of the characters this time. We'll see how many characters become or adopt
Then
the
we'll send
grand
one
title
Sarah's
of the
into your
Illuminor.
Skyweavers.
Uh-huh.
Because last game it was all of them.
He makes it with a 9. The intent is to end within 6 of the.
I love the Illuminor. This guy's so cool.
Or the
He is super cool.
Tomb Blades.
I think famously, he's the only thing Necrons got in Psychic Awakening. And he was in the literal last book. That was delayed, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he never really saw his time in the sun as in
Was immediately replaced by this man who brings an entire court with him.
right. Yeah, in 8th edition we never really got to see that guy.
Oh no, it's a model. Okay.
So yeah, Luminar also has
this
an ability
Wraith
which is
will
very cool. Every time he
charge.
destroys an enemy in melee, he can immediately perform one of his improvements on a unit within 6. So we're trying to set up a situation where the Illuminor can kill one of these Skyweavers and then immediately buff up the Tomb Blades.
Oh, the 2-blade score?
Yes, that's why they're here. They can get rerolls from the Silent King. They can get +1 to hit from I Will Be Done. They get the extra movement.
You could also toss it on a Village Guard, correct? Or have they not? Were they?
They have
Praetorians
already been
They have
upgraded, so they don't get
Okay.
it again. Fortunately, they get +1 strength this time. The last game they got +1 ballistic skill, which is super helpful. Thanks everybody. Unfortunately, that brings them to strength 7, which I don't think does anything.
Traveler into your Skyweavers.
I
Yeah,
don't-
probably not, given the toughness 5 on these.
Yeah,
Star
I
Wars.
don't think there's a single profile in this Harlequins army that cares about strength 7 versus strength 6. But it's nice to have, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll send the Tomb Blades into them as well.
Boom! Big
Like
charge with
11.
Tomb Blades. Oh,
Fine.
well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Mostly
I guess so.
just
They're
to
just
spread
moving
out
like 2 inches.
Block for Sarah's. Although you have flip belt, so it doesn't really matter.
I
Right.
think I would like to see the Lich Guard charging the Skyweavers here, and
In
they're
the
spreading
event
out
I
so that
need
at least
them.
one more of them is on objective
No,
1,
they'll just stay on
because
the point.
the Hexmark Destroyer is a tough cookie,
Well, if I
but
make a
like
charge, I have to make a charge.
he's not that.
Just enough.
He's dead.
This is issues with
this
the,
rate
I think,
will
with the
go-
multi-stream service I'm using.
Yeah.
You can fall
It
back
seems
and
like
charge
it
if
may
it's
not
matter.
like
He'll put all
the-
of his tax into the players.
The simulcast. Okay,
bump.
looks like we're back.
One hit,
hopefully.
And then on a 2. One save.
4 up. 1 down.
All right, I think
All right,
we're back,
everybody.
everybody.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Let me see. Killed. Boats. Unit of
You've killed-
Skyweaver.
Apologies for that, everyone. I don't know what happened, but it fixed itself. So there we go. My favorite
These
kind of
two blades
technology.
Succeed in a charge. I can consolidate with them. Let's leave them in position to take the point if they live.
Okay.
Which is a big ass. Okay.
Your
I think
rates?
all that's left is your swing back.
No, you get your rates over here.
Oh,
too.
you're right. Thanks. We are going to consolidate in to tag your brain.
Huh?
Oh, it's 20 attacks on players.
Yep.
All right. I'm just gonna go in and try to diagnose some of these issues here.
3's to wound, actually. They're -1 to wound.
Okay.
They're in the Shadow Series bubble.
6.
4 ups. Oh,
I
jeez.
still kill unit.
They still all die.
Alright, the Wraiths
Not
kill
been,
the
not
entire
been going
player's
great so
unit.
far.
Well, you make a few. Don't think there's anything. I'll tag the Shadow Seer too, because why not?
Okay. Yeah, you are.
Yep.
They
And then
managed
we'll
to
leave
touch
as many
every
cover as I
Psyker.
can, just for reasons.
That is a lot of smites they're asking for.
I'll go ahead and
Okay.
swing back.
As obnoxious as these Necron Wraith
May
units
as well
being,
start with you, Brain,
I do not think
guess.
they survive this coming round.
She's
But
got 4 attacks.
they're doing their job. All they need to do is
Yeah,
obstacle that objective for a turn.
Yeah, that is I think that is the intention.
She
Yeah.
is
Like
Brain.
another turn of the Tomb Blades
Forward.
not being fired at or killed is maybe
Just
something
one,
that the Harlequins just
Two
can't
up.
manage.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Pass.
good. Shadow
So
Seer,
it looks like
3
YouTube
attacks.
retained its
Okay.
retained the
that
stream
works.
here.
And
Twitch.
4, she's strength 5.
Twitch is
one,
having
make
some
it
trouble.
one.
I just reduced the bitrate, everybody, so hopefully that will
Okay,
alleviate
let's
some of the
go
problems.
2% into that guy there. The attacks, I think I'll
But if you feel like it, you can toss us your bits.
freeze.
What a plug!
5
Amazing,
rolls.
amazing.
3 at no
Wow.
AP.
Okay. 3s. He could die. Nope. Go to 1.
Yeah, usually the Harlequins'
and I
little
get
method
the
of
bonus score
engaging
right
in these
now.
like very well-controlled peace trades
And then I get perks the
leaves them kind of like on top and in a very advantaged position. But against an army that just gets back up
Yeah.
and really kind of wants to get hit with these like fast,
So look at 5
like,
primaries.
bombastic
Oh,
hits
I need
to
these
fully
now,
wipe
so
out
it's
squads.
fine.
This like
So let's do the 2.
the more surgical
players.
kind of like scalpel style
They're
of Harlequins
okay.
might be a
5 guys.
kind of a
They are okay.
misapplication.
They're leadership 8.
Leadership 8.
Yeah, and as cool and
Just before we start the turn, is it
sort
okay
of
to just
tech
go
as this
Crafts
this
real
Crafts
quick?
Worlds
I gotta-
detachment
Yeah.
might be.
I'll just pause the clock. Yeah. I'll be right back.
I wonder if it's as
As good as just another
efficient
squad of
as
Harlequins.
just having more
Protocol.
more
we'll take reroll 1 die for
stuff.
reanimation protocols. Yeah, that seems like
Yeah, imagine not having Yvrain or this Skyrunner or those Rangers and just having like 5 more Skyweavers.
yeah.
Maybe even 6, because I think Yvrain's worth like 3.
Looks like the players have paused real quick. I think Jonathan had a little bit of emergency, so he had to step away. We're gonna pop over to our Admech versus Sororitas game, which is popping off right now. Yeah, very odd board state. Let's check it out. So it looks like we're going into bottom of round 2, and Ash has essentially ceded board control to the Cerberus Raiders. She's given up a 15-point primary and hasn't really moved out too much. It looks like one of the planes is dead. The other plane is still hanging out on the table. And interestingly, the Corpuscarii have been placed. I'm really curious about this defensive position from Ash, but given how quickly Sororitas armies can kind of turn around the cadence of the game, I think it does make a lot of sense.
What does Ash have in reserve in this game right now? Anything?
It looks like she has a Calidus Assassin coming out of Strategic Reserve, or coming out of Deep Strike, as well as a unit of Repentia in Strategic Reserve. Interestingly, Asha, I don't know if I've ever seen her actually Strategic Reserve or Repentia squad. She usually likes to keep them in Rhinos, but putting the Retributors in the table may just mean that she couldn't really find the points for the extra transports, and she's just trying to be a little bit more efficient on points.
I'm assuming those other two boxes are also the casualties. That's pretty heavy losses.
Just gonna check back in with our first table here. Looks like we're just back to Jonathan's turn, and he's considering his options. So we'll stay with this table for a while.
I think perhaps the hope is that the Admech maybe push a little bit too hard, overextend themselves, and give you a very choice charge for the Repentia into their backfield.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to have done that yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess we're really worried about the damage output from these Iron Striders, given the fact that they can use their stratagem to get a 2d6 advance. So in addition to their high base speed of 10, they can move very quickly and potentially get up to these obstacles, and I think just physically see over them. Are they tall enough for that?
I don't think.
Maybe not. Yeah. But as much as Ash would, I think, like to forward deploy her mortifiers and just get them shooting and fighting and punching down as much of this Adeptus Mechanicus army as they possibly can. She has to sort of back deploy them and keep them safe from the last cannons for as long as possible, and that's what she's doing.
Yeah, it is a very vulnerable unit. Like a single salvo from those will wipe out the entire squad.
Yeah. I'm actually going to check in with their mics here.
Let's see.
They're being very quiet.
Very considerate.
Yeah, very considerate, yeah. Yeah, it looks like Alex really taking his time to consider his options in this game. This seems like an extremely tactical game, very cagey, and in Alex's to Alex's credit, this is exactly how you have to play against Sisters. Oh, yeah. You have to take the objectives that you can get and just force them to commit their super fragile but super high damage output units into situations where they trade down. And the longer you can sort of restrain them into their deployment zone without letting them make those trades, the less effective they become towards the end of the game. If they get to a situation where round 3 or 4, they want to bring in their strategic reserves, they want to bring in their deep strikers, they want to start dropping miracle dice, they can only drop 1 or 2 miracle dice, and suddenly, their ability to perform acts of faith drops significantly, and they just don't have the time to use all of their resources, and they eventually sort of peter out. All Sisters want to do is feed you one super killy unit at a time, and so if you can just sit back and ask them to come at you, that's exactly what you have to do to respond to them. So I really like Alex's play in this game. I really like the fact that he's kept one of his Fusilovs back, so he's not giving up too much to the Retributors and the Mortifiers, and he's just playing super cagey, and I think that's exactly what you have to do.
Yeah, and this full board move blocking that's going on mid board too, which will prevent any sort of extended threat range from the Repentia threatening anything too vital it's such a body blow, especially if you're pinning the mortifiers back to where they cannot actually answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the problematic thing about this matchup for Ashe is that she wants, like we just talked about, she wants to get those mortifiers in there to shoot all these raiders to death, so she doesn't have to rely on declaring charges on them, because you just get that Tactica Obliqua, which I think we saw used last turn with the orange raiders up top here. They had surrounded this Rhino, it looked like, and then as soon as a charge got declared on them, they pulled right back onto objective 3 to score it, and. She's going to have a tough time moving out to clear those models out without getting into range of the Iron Striders.
Dude's in chat saying he hates dogs. I mean, I like dogs.
Rude.
I'm more of a cat guy, but like,
Jesus, dude.
You know, I like dogs too.
Holy crap.
What I do hate though is the horses.
Now
that are kind of midboard here that the Mechanicus are riding.
Dudes, now I'm glad you lost all those rolls to go first. Hate dogs. Get out of here.
If you're gonna hate a barnyard animal, get it right.
Yeah, at least hate the chickens.
My movement phase. And then shooting phase.
There are no mech dogs here. There are only the glorious Mechieros wrestling up the chickens and, moving the herd around. And the sisters got in the way of their cattle drive. And this is what happens.
Yeah. So it looks like we're taking what shots we can from this Adeptus Mechanicus army. Also, I think to credit Alex's list as well, in this particular matchup, he does have 3 Scorpius Disintegrators, so he is continuing to put pressure on the Sororitas list, even while remaining safe. And that's one of the reasons that indirect fire is so important in this matchup in particular, because you could just peck at them. You can, if they have Retributors out of a transport, you just get to kill a couple of them every turn. If they don't have a Hospitaller, it's problematic.
Yeah, spread the seed around. The chickens just peck at you for a little bit.
Okay.
Chat's still talking about dogs. You talking about the Space Wolf matches the other day. These are horses. They're horses and chickens.
Space Wolf match only had 1 dog. Even there's only 1 Cyberwolf in that list. What's wrong with that?
He was a good boy.
He was the bestest boy. He scored an engage on all fronts. What a guy.
Oh, right. Yeah. So this one cannot see you, because I'm an idiot.
He didn't even get shot by a 6-armed chain-smoking skeleton. He didn't engage on fronts like the old-fashioned way.
Looks like we're going to the Psychic phase here for our main table, so I'm going to pop back there.
Alright, I'll try and roll a 9.
Yep.
Oh, Valdor is correct. We forgot about the ones that were pulling Santa's sleigh.
Oh, that's right. There were 3 dogs. You're right. And Logan Grimnar, he's a dog, if you know what I mean.
Kill this one, and we'll do 2 to this one.
Yep.
Cat lady's killing
Rain will go. She'll smite.
Yeah, look at it. This is I think some offensive powers out of the shadows here. He can drop a smite and a Shards of Light, which is like a combination that is pretty obnoxious.
What happens? D3 mortals into the race
So
for
many smites.
Kills the last one.
3 dead in just the Psychic phase. 9 mortal wounds being pumped out of these Psychers. This is exactly what they're here for.
It is, but
so shooting.
That is also what the wraiths are there for. They're the highest wound per point value over on this side of the table, and those smites are coming out regardless. And it's best if they go into the Canoptic Wraiths, which have already kind of done their duty.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You certainly want them there before you hit Anarchy the Traveler or.
Yeah, I mean, what we want to do is. I think on Ray's side is hold these Lich Guard until such time as you can either neutralize the smites or you can just get rid of the rest of the army. Like, you'll eat a bunch of smites as long as that's the only thing hitting you. But it's when the smites combine with a bunch of fusion pistols and also like getting punched with +1 damage that starts to kill that unit. And so Ray's is just gonna hold them back until they can be the anchor that secures him the center objective, and by that also probably the game.
The biggest threat to this Toonblade unit is out of those psychic powers now, and the biggest threat to this Harlequin army at this point is this Toonblade unit. So the longer you can keep those 2 concepts separate from each other, the better it looks for the Necrons.
For sure.
Dr. Newts, are the boats just tractors? No, the boats are like covered wagons that the horses pull.
4 shots.
This is like a home on the prairie, like 1860s sort of scenario here.
So 1 at -3 and 2 at no EP.
Okay, we'll take them all on shield veins. No AP. Sorry. Take
-3.
So I'll take the first 2 on ones that don't have shield veins. So I get a single 4-up on that guy because he auto fails the other one, and then a 4-up. Okay, so 1 without a shield vein takes a wound.
Okay.
Valdor, no, there are no
alright.
sharks at this farm.
Shadow Sphere, does she have a pistol?
How do
She
you
does. She has a
keep
shuriken
getting these
pistol.
animals wrong?
Shuriken pistol, the dude in front of her.
Maybe it's
She
a fish
hits,
farm.
And
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them.
Let's shoot with the 2 players here. They are going to
Which
use a
which
pistol
unit in the Adeptus Mechanicus
E.
Codex is the Atlantic Salmon?
Actually, no, they're not going to go yet because there's a guy at 1 move there. So let's do shuriken cannons into the Tomb Blaze first.
I don't know, maybe like the Sakara and Ruststalker.
Or actually, do we put them in the Wraith? Yeah, let's put the shuriken cannons in the Wraith.
I guess
6
so.
shots on 3.
I'm trying to think of something with a weird chin.
And
I can't.
threes.
I guess it's just like
So,
Belisarius
three
Call.
saves,
Yeah, the call is the weirdest chin.
4-up.
Call is the Atlantic Salmon of
Pass,
the.
and then use our
Wait, do Atlantic salmon have weird chins?
Don't they have like a big funky mouth?
He's
so
on
good.
1,
With a-
so
that's
I can
like
save him.
big and curvy?
That's extremely unfortunate.
Okay.
No, these guys have like the most normal
and
of like faces.
then let's do fusion pistols from these guys into the Tomb Blades.
Oh, I guess
do I
so.
have
Yeah, what am I
anything
thinking
else
of?
I think this might be the most generic looking fish.
This,
I've
this
ever
definitely
seen.
looks like a regular fish. Yeah, you're right. It's this is like the Scutarii Vanguard
Yeah,
of
so
fish.
just the fusion pistols into them.
This thing is like the platonic
Fours,
ideal
one
of
hit.
a fish. Look at
So we kill
the
the guy
perfect proportions
Wounded
of
one.
this.
Let's see if
this
he
thing.
stands up. Nope.
Okay. And then we will do Death Jester into the Silent King. 3 shots. 2s. They all hits. And 5s. 1 at -3 on the Silent King.
It's also, I think,
Or-
frustrating for Jonathan that he doesn't quite have
Good.
the punch
He's
to
humbled.
push these mortal runes through onto the onto Sarek himself as well. Because Sarek Sarek goes down like a
believe
bitch
that's
to
shooting
mortal
phase.
wounds. That guy, he's like my sub-faction trait is to ignore mortal wounds, but not me though.
Charging.
I'm just gonna take him.
On the plus side, though, I mean, now that the Skyweavers have almost been removed as an object from the table, there's not very many sources of mortals to push into this guy.
Yep.
It's just the psychic powers, and there's not that many.
Yep.
Like,
Now-
this is not a Tyranid army.
We are seeing some really cool play from the Smash Troopmaster over here. He's about to charge into the Tomb Blades and then use another Sky Stride to jump into the Starweaver 2 by Objective 4. And that's just going to keep that guy alive, like, for days. This dude is going to just continue to he is bounced from one side of the table to the other and is going to keep bouncing, I think. He's just going to go forever.
Unfortunately, I mean, he did manage that, but it looks like those players
7
did just get completely evaporated in Overwatch to cover for him.
Ooh.
So,
That's
unless
fair.
he finishes off this entire unit, which
I mean, in
I
fairness,
don't know if he does.
he
Heroics.
100% will.
Okay.
Yes, so?
Yeah, he's got
5 are gonna go into your mortals there.
7, 8 attacks.
Because there's 8 of them, aren't there?
No, there's only
No,
4.
Oh, they've-
you
Yeah,
have
they
right.
lost a couple. Or there's 5. There's 5.
fine.
Excuse me.
Better.
But he's got 8
So-
attacks, hitting on
Give
2s,
them
winning on
plus
4s with
one
full rerolls, and then kills
it?
one automatically with
Yes.
the Darkness Bite.
And they have
Yeah.
So he's fine.
2 apiece. Okay.
But Sarek is still just obsecking out this objective.
Oh, Sarek doesn't get obsec though. Remember,
There.
so he's just a man.
Oh, right.
all
He
the
is
players
just
into the 2
a
wraiths.
man. A 13-foot tall, like, skeleton robot man.
Yeah,
but-
on a giant throne. In fairness, there's nothing unless the Troopmaster stands here, which he might, but I kind of doubt. There is nothing else holding down this objective, so he is just gonna take it.
They can all.
We can drop the Necrons to just
This guy will go here, this guy.
2 objectives if we can kill a couple of Immortals and not die in response on the objective up top here. But this looks like it might be a pretty juicy interrupt happening.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I want to note as well the CP discrepancy.
It's not the end of the world.
Raise at 9 to Matt Damon. While being a fabulously wealthy Hollywood actor, Matt Damon, unfortunately, only frugal with real money and not fake
Fine.
Hollywood,
Yeah, I think that's all the
fake 40K fun bucks. And he's only down to 1.
Where do we fight first?
I mean, it's been a pretty lean year for actors,
Two
right,
wraiths
with all
have one
the
attack
theater shut
control,
down. So he's just
yeah,
not getting
the
quite the
one
budget of
attack
CP that he used to expect on his
Wraiths
projects.
have 2 each. 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 2 What's that?
These guys making some like indie films.
Oh, Chad has vindicated me.
This guy's basing her, I assume?
It is the Pacific salmon that has the
If he
weird
wasn't, then I
mouth.
would've based
Oh,
it.
I'm so glad I wasn't literally a
You
crazy
just have the
person.
wrong ocean.
I did.
We start here.
They all look the same. They're just these big green things, you know?
2 attacks each. That's 10. 1, 3.
Oh yeah, look at these idiots.
Right?
We start-
That is a Belisarius call if I ever saw one.
Forgot about my reanimation protocol.
Look at this guy.
I
These
get
all
to
do
reroll,
look like Admech
um,
models. You're right.
Oh, he's even red too. It's
It's just far in the
perfect.
pit.
Ugly red. They're bizarrely shaped.
Yeah, the Tomb Blades would have been able to reroll one when they were getting
Right. Well, we're gonna start with these 5.
All right, starting with the players on the top objective
So it's gonna be 20 attacks into the...
to try to knock out these immortals.
Mhm.
Winning on 5s is going to be awkward though.
Why can't I get rid of these dice?
Oh, they have caresses. Just
See if
kidding.
they can
win on
live up to
first.
their name for the first time.
Trevi spiked.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, so passive. 8 attacks into the...
Okay, everybody.
the
Welcome
two
back.
blades.
We are back
It's on 2s.
this time. That time it
you
was
can
on
get
my
some
end,
explodes.
so that was.
Four-
I can't blame Twitch for that one. That was. Unfortunately, my apartment decided this was a good time to reset our modem, so we lost internet for about 2 minutes or so, which is awkward. So there you go. But we're back now, and basically back to where we were. So. We did an interrupt here with the Tomb Blades to try to swing into the Troopmaster. It looks like we plinked him for a couple.
Where'd he just go?
Did
Where'd
he
they all
die?
just go?
Oh no, he goes into the transport.
Oh,
Like we talked about. Yeah. So he kills the Tomb Blades and he runs away, but he's wounded, so he might die later. Um,
Okay, so,
Xeno spotted.
how did our roll onto the Immortals go? Only one Immortal went down against
That
the
is
player troop
unexpectedly low.
on 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh,
I think we're about
SpaghettiOs.
to attack back with the Immortals' own attacks.
Yeah.
I don't think they've been juiced up by Illumina Ceres yet, unfortunately. Unless that's their attacks. 24 attacks? Yeah, maybe they have been?
No, this is the big player troop, I think.
Oh, that's
upgrades, yeah.
okay. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, there
Plenty
we go.
enough to pick
See
them
ya. See ya.
we'll just kind of shimmy it forward. Just a smidge.
So I've got one fight back. Couple of attacks from the Immortal
Yep.
on 3s. Crap.
Oh, yeah, you just
And
want
on 3.
Yep.
Only 2.
Or still kill one. The most important thing is that I don't take you off that point, unfortunately.
I'm double.
Not enough
stacked,
swings
so-
back.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
to- Well, with the
I needed
reanimation?
to kill
No, it looks
basically.
like we killed it.
Okay,
Yeah, it looks like
yeah,
Objective
that's
2
the
has been
end
taken.
of the turn, I believe.
Or denied, at the very least, of the Necrons. So they only hold 2 this turn.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it
Blocks
is.
the 15-point primary, but Harlequins are already behind on primary, and they're going first, so they don't get the benefit of the
Okay,
final game scoring, or end of game scoring.
Oh. This is my random. Do you know what this
The
roll was
complete
for?
loss of that Tomb Blade unit, though, is a devastating
that
blow.
was
Like
my
the
signature.
Necron's ability to now project force into this
So I have
Harlequins
a
list has
reroll
just dropped
on my arm.
a mile.
No, I don't, because they're not in protocol range. Protocols suck. Okay, healing wounds up to 15.
Luminar Ceres is going to have to get out there and start punching things.
Yeah.
It's the reroll.
Yeah, this is becoming a knife fight of a game. I mean, these Lich Guard are going to be tough for the Harlequins to deal with, but they have all these mortal wounds still on the table, and it's there's not much in there that
It's
that
the same
can
one.
that can fight for them or fight them.
So I get.
This big player troop is protecting all 3 Psychers right now, and they're just going to start beaning mortal wounds into whatever's in front of them. Not to mention that the Smash Troopmaster's still on the table in the Starweaver.
For however long that lasts, though, he's staring down the barrel of Attack Yen Arrow, Sarex attack, Luminar Ceres as well.
Yeah.
Any of the 3 of them could knock this Starweaver
Well,
down and then
I've missed the
follow up
Sleeper.
with anybody killing the
Yeah, the
contents.
guy had one wound.
Well, the Troopmaster can bounce back behind the obscuring terrain here, and I'm not sure
So
anything
Anarchy is
really
gonna
gets line of
walk
sight to
his
him. Maybe
6.
Farah can do it?
That could be an issue, you're right.
I wonder if we're 6 inches from from the player troop. Looks like we're a little far.
Silent King is
There's
going to
one
win his
issue
6,
with that though, and that's the Harlequin 0
Yep,
CP.
-2. It's everything.
Right.
So an emergency disembark is not in the cards, and I don't know if he could just go directly into the little crevice here.
Yeah,
Can't, like,
I
get Zark far enough.
think that does it. Yeah.
But Anarkir, he's only on two wounds. Anarkir could just walk up there and give that man
That's
quite
true.
the staffing.
You only need to smack him one time. Hitting on twos, winning on twos. You gotta get one through. And no CP to reroll, so we're just hoping on those invulnerable saves.
Right, Saras moving up, getting ready to get some staffing of his own. A very scary man who does very violent things to the man on his base, but we'll have to see if he can do that to anyone else.
Yep. I love seeing these Necron characters on the table. Like, their character models have always been, like, kind of boring, but so cool at the same time. And it's cool to see them, get stuck in and use those, like, super beefy profiles that they have.
They're
7
managing
wounds
to
to
make
6
cool
on
now,
Saras.
finally.
Like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, because Dome Speed 5.
Like, Anarkir the Traveler, he's a really chill dude. He likes to travel by train, take photos.
Guess I needed a 3 and not a 2.
But has never been a very interesting or standout character. He's sort of like a slightly buffed up Necron Lord. But I mean that's sort of the old guard. But these new units like Zarek, like Illuminor, are just the chock full of just the most 6'0" energy you've ever seen.
Yeah. Looks like while we're going through our Necron movement phase here, I am going to pop over to our second table, which I've noticed is missing a score sheet. Let's fix that real quick, everyone, before we go over there. And Ash going through her second turn, and it's looking very aggressive. So let's take a pop over there.
I have to kill these players in order to get 4 points. If I could kill these bikes, I'd get 2 more points, but I don't think it's going to happen.
So we're over to our second table now.
That's it for movement.
I'll
So
pop
we'll start
over to the
by-
players' mics.
We've got a 6 left. Okay.
And Ash has broken cover with her Retributor squad.
It looks like the whole herd has died. We're gonna have to rustle up some new steers pretty soon.
Yeah, we're down to one single Cerberus Raider on the table, but these Retributors are out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What are they doing out here?
They're about to get Voltgeisted, I think.
They're about to get... Well, maybe we're trying to Voltgeist Celestine, but we're about to Scorpius disintegrate these Retributors hardcore. Although they are in the Imagifier aura for Tale of the Stoic. Looks like the Imagifier ate 2 wounds probably from an exploding plane earlier, I think. Which is amazing. But, so they are a little bit difficult to kill for the Scorpius, but I'm not sure that's enough to save them. I think we may get a couple in cover, but that's not that great. Also, only one Armorium Cherub used for them. And also what looks very much like a Calidus Assassin that did not make a successful charge.
Uh-oh. That's a particularly harsh one, because that thing can get up to 3 inches closer to you on a typical charge, too.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to fail.
For sure. Yeah, this looks like sort of a dire situation for Ash.
Yeah.
I mean, Ash is a phenomenal player, and I wouldn't count her out by any stretch of the imagination, but she certainly has a hill to climb.
Is it when I spend CP, or is it when I use a stratagem?
Okay, so this is a pile out of the transport because it was blown up by the Retributors. All right, that makes a little bit more sense. So the Catalyst is yet to charge. This is significantly less bad.
All right, so this is in fact the sister's turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked to me like we were just starting the movement phase, but that is because we had blown up a Scorpius. All right.
Look at possibly considering a faith charge on Celestine herself, assuming that she even has the dice for it.
Yeah, take a look at our miracle dice here.
Looks like it was needing an 11.
Looks like we have maybe 1 6 in there. Not sure if the top or the bottom of the miracle dice pool. I love this triangle of the Jazz Handsmen making as effective use of the obstacle in the center as they possibly can.
They look like bowling pins, Trevi.
They do. They do look like bowling pins. Celestine, you want to just bowl a strike right in there, knock that whole unit over?
Back in this other game, the Silent King just punched that Starweaver to death.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's pop over there real quick.
You don't have any way to like damage my True Master. Oh, well, I don't think True Master can make you explode. Hey, 6 of them. Does anybody die?
Which definitely makes this awkward for
alright, let's
those troops to get onto
again.
Objective 3 now.
That's 5 dice and that's 6 dice. On once. 1 die dice. You.
That,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Looks dead.
I think the least
I don't think I can engage
effective,
the troops that engage the Troop Master,
I
so
don't believe so. That was the
he's
entire.
gonna just chill there.
way to
Yeah,
get rid of that.
makes sense.
And we'll
Looks like
get
it bounced
my
all of
birds
the
that are
shooting.
for
Ooh.
2, and my
Unfortunate.
Yeah, no kidding. Yikes.
Also, it looks like Saras failed his charge as well.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
We were worried about
That meant that Rex actually moved off the objective with an Immortal too,
Yeah.
giving a 15-point turn.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I wonder if that Immortals may be supposed to be on the objective. Let's take a
He's not following the rules.
ask a question of the
That's what
players
he wanted.
here because Rex is on 2. Yeah, Harlequins are on 3. Jonathan, this is top of your
Yeah.
turn, yeah?
Yes.
Do you get 15
Protocol.
points?
No.
him? He gets
Do you have objective 2?
No, because these guys count as 2.
double up.
Oh, yeah, they have
Yeah.
the extra one, yeah.
Yeah, I wish.
We'll
Yeah,
take
that the Eternal Conquerors works like the ancient banner from the ancient warlord trait off of Space Marines. It gives your objective secured an extra objective secured. So the Immortals are going to hold it regardless.
It's not an aura.
You could try to smite them to death.
That is fortunate for them.
Yeah,
Guess I'll take.
Illuminor himself also seemingly failing to kill even a single player.
yeah, that is a huge swing.
Looks like a
It
very
looks
bad-
like nothing happened on this Necron turn. I think we were definitely expecting some fire, some fire and fury out of these Necrons, but they maybe just lost too much. The characters not pulling their weight quite as much, and Sarek now leading the charge means he may eat these enormous boatload of mortal wounds and could just die to the Troop Master.
And unfortunately, Saras is not over there to provide his perhaps never before seen 12-inch reducing the effectiveness of Psychic Powers bubble.
Yeah, he's running from those Harlequins instead. Get me out of here.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So these guys are gonna hang out. Yeah, so I think we just try to do as much.
Sarek, it seems, choosing not to pile into the Troop Masters, or into the Troop Master or players.
Yeah, you can't engage that Troop Master. He's so deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, swinging in eight 2-damage attacks into you with rerolls, plus the additional mortal wounds. I mean, the worst thing that Sarek wants to do is eat two mortal wounds for free on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, and unlike most armies, there's really no reason to base them, because they can just leave and still perform.
Yeah,
Finish anything.
the one thing it doesn't it does stop them is advancing, but who cares? I will give you an extra d6 as a movement if you don't
these guys are
like
just gonna
plant 6 damage into my
this way
most important powerful model.
Yeah.
I want to stay out of.
Now, interestingly, the Troop Master, I guess he may not engage into Sarek. Sarek does have that fight last aura,
We'll just come like this.
so he could just die if he goes in. I'm not sure where this Troop Master
So,
goes
just
effectively.
Points. They're gonna scramblers.
Troop Master is also on a single wound, so
He's on 2 wounds.
perhaps would just die in Overwatch as well.
Yeah, he could just die.
She's gonna move the Shadow Sphere first. Shadow Sphere's gonna back up a bit here. Just want to be within smiting range. Brain is gonna back up as well.
I'm just gonna play cagey. Use his big boat of Harlequin players to wrap and protect our characters. Make those charges as difficult as possible for these
Well,
sort of awkwardly melee-focused Necrons. Come closer so I can hit you with my big stick.
What do we use my CP on? Maybe...
Luminar Ceres? Now I'm doing it. Zarek, despite being having his throne powered by a Satan, has no Satan powers. So, can't
Could
really
you
train
imagine?
anything
Oh
back.
my god. He just has a billion guns. That's
I gotta imagine that was in the design doc at one point. Like he can toss out one turn, and they're like, this guy's a little too good.
He's a Necron Lord plus a Catan. How fun for everyone.
Actually, I guess it
It's a
happens.
Necroton.
Necroton.
To do that.
Necroton versus the what do we say? Your
The
Harlequins.
Craft World Harlequins.
Craft World Harlequin. Perfect.
306. We won't be able to get through the walls. These bikes will back up.
Avery is saying Scramblers for Harlequins might be tough. I gotta imagine, short of these 4 Quins on Objective 2 just bouncing past the Immortals and just trying to pull it off.
Well, I think we're gonna.
I
don't know where we've scramblered so far.
Troop
Yeah, I don't know.
Master.
But I think we may Webwave Virtuoso those guys and just yoink them right out of there and plop them back in next turn.
Yeah, it would be effectively unscreenable. How much CP does that cost?
I think it's just the one.
Just the one? Alright. And you unfortunately cannot re-deep strike the Hexmark Destroyer to
hit them again. Yeah,
again.
yeah,
Right?
they have plenty of
Can you?
space in the back.
They do have ways of doing that, actually, I think.
6 was 14.
Obviously, he's not going to do it because he does not want to abandon his own
Yeah,
objective. but
Virtuosos
that'd be
is
pretty
just
funny.
the one. Let's take a look at the Necron technology here. Unfortunately, I'm less familiar with their intercept stratagems.
Ooh. I think the Troop Master. No, if he charges, he just dies to the Silent King. Because Silent King.
Yeah, the stratagem that lets them chase an enemy unit that is deep striking just also lets them shoot. So you could just use it to shoot.
If they landed within range of him.
Yes.
Those air here, then.
And the range is infinite. You just shoot at somebody. So it has to be in his weapon range. So he has a
Yeah.
12-inch bubble of don't come here. What a unit this guy is.
He's great.
I'm sold. I'm solidly sold on the Hexmark Destroyer, everybody.
He has to be a hero.
Reyes has shown me the way.
Try to kill a lot of Lich Guard.
Sending the Troopmaster in to fight the Lich Guard. A suicide mission if I've ever seen one, but
Do I just
maybe
run-
one
So
that's
if you-
required.
If you land a Hexmark Destroyer and shoot something, and then next turn get it into a Night Scythe, and the Night Scythe then flies off the table, that then re-enters him into Strategic Reserves, right?
No, he's embarked on a transport still currently.
Ah.
Yeah, they're like two
Look at all
separate
these
states,
things.
essentially.
Advance roll.
No, good.
And unfortunately, you can't target models embarked on
Because we're not gonna
transports
kill
in,
Lich Guard, and this will at
with
least give us
stratagems,
a-
so he wouldn't even be able to come out.
You have to kill one more thing for Grantham now. Okay, so these players will just.
Although, let's see, if you're in a hyperspace dimension, you can choose them. Does a Night Scythe put you in a hyperspace dimension? I know their invasion beam used to.
Well, let's check.
Alright, sudden move phase, spending 1 CP to take these 4 guys and take them off the table and redeploy next turn.
No. It just has the transfer capacity of
Then,
20
yeah,
models.
psychic phase.
I remember back when they were released, they had a cool ability where your transports
do
for
a,
Necrons would just be like a big
instead of
pool of
Shadow
models,
Seers,
and you could disembark any of your units that were in transports from any of your transports because they were just teleporting you there.
Go ahead.
9.
And if you ever destroyed all their transports, they would just come in as normal reserves off your table edge. It was very cool.
Down to 13.
Alright, she'll do Shards of Light.
So it looks like we did pull the unit in the center off the table with Virtuosos. So they're going to be trying to complete the Scramblers.
Something special and another smite left. Oh, and
I have to imagine that will be our third
Executioner
Scramblers.
faces the smite against the
Hopefully we don't walk into
thinking
the
about how hard
Hexmark
it is.
Destroyer
Yes, I will spend a
strat.
CP to try and deny it.
Yeah, is this screenable? Like if the Lich Guard
Fail.
sprinted backwards,
4,
Luminar
2,
sprinted
1,
backwards,
2,
the Hexmark just covered a 12-inch bubble.
Yeah, you may be
Your
able
brain
to,
will
to
go.
force them into the
She'll
Hexmark's
do a
bubble.
smite.
In fairness, the
Goes off the 9.
troopers are much more difficult to kill with those guns
Yeah.
than the rangers are because they have the 4+ multiple saves, so it might not kill them, but it is awkward.
I'm getting blasted.
And then we will do a.
I think the
gaze if you need.
awkward part might be this
Which
bottom
goes off at
corner.
7.
Although maybe you could get a
Try
Lich
to
Guard
deny.
there.
Sure.
8.
You could also maybe
Deny.
if the Troopmaster sticks around, you could charge him and
first here,
use that to
smite.
chain your unit down. Down the
would
table, I don't
use
know.
For runes to reroll both. That does not go off. Unfortunate. And then Executioner. Fails as well.
And we are out of CP to Curtain Fall and or Skystride, although I don't think we can Skystride anymore.
All right, shooting. Farseer maze.
With the
After
Troop
Mortal
Master
Wounds wasn't enough.
to pull him
It
out of threat
probably
range of those Lich Guards, so I think he's just dead next turn.
Farseer, 4 shuriken catapults into the big man. He all hits, and strength 4, so 5 to wound, yeah. Nothing. Let's do the Shadow Seer into him.
So that was,
One
looks
shot,
like 7 mortal wounds done in the
182,
psychic phase to
hits,
Sarek.
2d6 equal be your leadership, which is now 9.
Well, not enough to kill him, and he will regain
So the light went
2,
off.
I believe, if he switches it back up to
Death Jester into
the
him.
heal protocol. But that hurts. That hurts a lot.
3s, because he advanced, but they all hit still. 5s.
The Troop Master
wound,
looks
no
like
AP.
orienting himself to maybe assassinate Enrikir.
Yeah, I
Good.
think so. I think that's the play.
Okay. That's unfortunate. 'cause he's
The
gonna
players
unblock
aren't
it.
like super consistent at killing Enrikir, so the Troop Master will super duper
Okay.
do it, but the players are a little bit
These
awkward.
players
Although we
will
have plenty of
just throw a
CP to
grenade and
resurrect that
guys.
guy if he goes down, which could be
20 shots,
a little awkward
6.
for them. Trading their Troop Master for like 2 CP out of your opponent is not quite the conversion that you'd like.
He has a
5s,
5-wound model
nothing.
remaining on a 4-up
Surge
invuln.
pistols on 3s.
It's not 100% that he dies,
1 and
but
3 on the
It's
orbital
pretty
rolls.
close because he's
Yeah,
down
just-
to we only have to get sink 2 wounds through to kill him because of the darkness bite,
mhm.
and he attacks 9 times, so
And we'll pull the one that's not on the point.
it's pretty likely.
Sure. Okay, that's the shooting phase done. So let's go into the charge phase. Players into the immortals.
I will Overwatch.
Sure.
6 shots. So if I get some 6s, that'd be cool.
Enrikir the Traveler, 140 points. That is an expensive man.
So they're going 5 plus.
So
1,
troop
6.
unit fades in Overwatch from the
Nope,
Immortals
I'll just keep 1 guy on the point.
and is going to come back
Unfortunate.
and try to wipe them. Maybe second time's a charm.
That's
We're down to 3 Immortals at this point.
Troop
I
Master,
Yeah.
suppose he got
Enrikir,
I think
shot
one
with a
got
pistol.
shot by a pistol.
6.
Not making those resurrection protocols. Oh, there he goes.
That's. May as well be
This could be an interesting interrupt, though.
Just like
I mean, I imagine you have to go with the Troop Master
yeah,
first, which
that's
could
all
give the Immortals the
charges
ability to
done.
keep themselves alive.
Yeah.
So fighting, we're gonna start with.
Yeah, filling that charge with Ceres, that
Yeah.
hurts.
That feels bad.
So they're gonna have. What is it? There's 4 of them, so 16 attacks.
I think I like that this list from Jonathan is just sort of based around the power of, and this is kind of Jonathan's trademark. But
I think we went with the players first.
Average 6, -2.
yeah, that's fair.
5s.
That's not a great idea.
So I'll reroll 1.
I think this is a more important fight than the Troop Masters, honestly. Like the Troop
That's
Master
fair,
is like he kills Enrikir, and Enrikir like maybe just regenerate anyway. So like we said, you're just probably
Very important.
trading.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair. And they did pull it off.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that the Troop Master might also just not die. You know, he's got an invulnerable save.
That's
I will spend
You
1
just have to hope your
Enrikir.
opponent whiffs his
He'll make
attacks.
his 4 attacks on 2s.
All right, here we go. Here comes the Enrikir with. Oh no!
Oh, no.
No, those are Enrikir's attacks.
not a good roll.
That is
Wow,
one
okay.
hit. Could still do it. Wounds on a. Okay, not that.
Okay. I just got
2s and 2s.
Get wrecked, you stupid old skeleton.
2s and 2s, and we rolled 4 1s out of 5 dice. Okay.
This sad old man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it matters. Like, honestly, I'm not sure Enrikir surviving this game is a huge swing. Thanks, chat. With the sad trombone.
He takes 4
4
damage.
damage, and then 2 mortals.
So I don't have a reroll, so I'll spend a CP to see if he resurrects at the end of the turn.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Here he
End
comes
of the
back,
phase.
maybe.
So he's dead though, right? So like,
He won't count towards. Yeah, he's currently dead.
yeah. So we can consolidate. So we're 5.6 from you. Can't get to the other side. Of the
Can't make it back over the wall, though.
Yeah, he's
Just
trapped.
go.
He's gonna die.
Right here.
I mean, worst case scenario, like
that,
he,
more or less.
I don't know,
Right.
ate Sarek to the
Hands
face
up.
and got
Yeah,
slapped.
4 up.
No,
he doesn't.
Enrikir
Awesome.
dies forever.
Oh, he traveled to
That's 2
the
kills
great
for you.
beyond, the next
Yeah.
dimension.
Well, I mean, that splits the CP lead pretty significantly there.
Yeah.
Drops Raise down to 0 with 1 turn. Oof.
We'll start by advancing.
That was
So
a good
first,
try, but man,
Silent
yeah,
King,
that fight off of Enrikir was not good.
Unfortunately.
I wonder if
We'll
was
try
it
and
was
advance this
Overwatching
on
with the
game.
Immortals the right
43.
call? I mean, maybe, but
Yep.
I feel like the chances that you kill those guys are way worse
Okay, he
than
goes
saving
9.
a CP reroll for later.
He's -2 movement.
Okay, and he goes,
Possibly.
oh,
I mean, you
unless
pull
that's
out one
7
Harlequin, and then
or
the squad.
5.
All of a sudden, you have a pretty okay chance that at least one of the Immortals comes through, and if any come through,
Just
then you
kill the
maybe all of them do.
Tripmaster.
Yeah.
No,
Harlequin moving
not
away
true.
from Harlequin, the Silent King.
So we'll go
Moving
as
away
far
from
away as I
objective 4.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah, on
I
his-
don't think the True Masters surviving this
Given his
one.
movement, I mean, he probably could have made it to that Brick of
He's
Players or
dead.
even the Farseer Skyrunner, but
because
like,
it's,
I
8
don't know.
+ 1,
That's
9 - 2, 7.
not the
Yep.
greatest place to stand.
Uh,
I think at
Would
this
it be one
point, the
less
play
action?
is
8
'Cause you moved
+
8?
1 is
To
not-
try and
I
make
moved-
it onto-
I actually measured to 8 and then I put
have
it back.
Saris hopefully
okay.
can just rip off enough players to matter.
Saris is gonna go try
Get
and-
one more
He's
10-point
gonna
turn, and
round 2?
can we win on secondaries here? Like, what are these secondaries? Grind them down, which at this point, as scored out as
Well,
that's
maybe
going
he
to
can
be.
Stop being useless.
Priority targets, that'll get up to 12.
I'll advance with the Lich Guard, I guess.
Versus Scramblers,
I don't know what
get
it's for.
stopping that Scramblers is
More models on the point.
vitally important here.
I can
Yeah,
set up
I'm-
both directions so I can take.
I don't know how they can do it.
So they go
Not if those
7
Immortals
as a
died.
relentless mark.
Yep.
Yeah. Looks like we're using the protocol here to
Not a good advance though.
move. Yeah.
Nah, I don't think we can stop this.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if we physically have the room. There's probably a space behind this little obstruction in the center on the center line here where they can go back.
How big is the squad that is deep striking?
4.
1.5.
Yeah, I mean they could probably just land in the very bottom corner here.
It's
That
a
looks like
small-
it's all outside of 9 from Illuminar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to be 2 of this guy or not.
Yeah, Chad.
Need to keep those Immortals alive.
It might have been that the Lich Guard have come out a little late.
We'll start with
There is
Illuminor,
very
Saris.
little in this Harlequin army that
So
deals with
shooting
them
phase now?
efficiently, so maybe like a turn earlier would have been good for them.
2 shots on 3s.
But Necrons had pretty
And
solid
twos.
control of Objective 3 early in the game, and I'm not really sure that the Lich Guard would have changed that.
Yeah. I think it was the inability of keeping the Troop Master down
Saris
and letting
put
him
all
just
the guns
buzzsaw
to
through
your
every
Troop
single
Master.
like jet bike on the table.
Shots.
Yeah, and
Like-
honestly, unless some weird stuff happens, like that's just going to happen. That guy is impossible to stick down, and
And
especially
then-
against someone like Jonathan who's so practiced at
Yeah.
using him.
Alright.
7.
4 ups. He died.
So yeah, what does the score look like right now? We are at.
No
I guess also I think this is a Purge the Vermin. Yeah, on the Necron side of the table. So that is unfortunately an awkward pick against Harlequins since they're so prolific around the table. So we are up currently 10 points for the Necrons, but that is immediately going to disappear as soon as Scramblers gets resolved on this coming turn.
Do him first.
And
Hit 2 on 2s, so I'm just gonna roll them all together. I mean, they hit 2 on 3s. And
Harlequins are on 2 objectives, 3 if this unit of players survives, which it might. That's a lot of hits.
5 saves.
5 4 ups.
Please die.
Oh, they go down. All right, just kidding. So,
All right.
Alright, he tries
so
to
10
modify-
points
Nothing.
on primary for the Harlequins on the final turn, bringing them up to a total of 74 alongside their Scramblers. They can probably
They're just
pretty
trying to
easily
die as much as
score
possible.
an engage for 76 and a priority targets for 79.
You
Necrons are already at 35 on primary, so they can only score 10 additional. So they can go to 74.
I get.
Yeah, and then 3 for priority for 77.
Priority target. 3 for priority.
Yep.
Don't get grind them down because they only got 2 versus your 2.
Yeah, and no
close.
grind them down currently.
Alright, 10 more primary. Okay, so.
I don't think there's doesn't look like to be any way of them finishing off a unit in this turn.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not looking great. We do gotta get our engage though, for sure. Okay, so what do we do? Probably just come in here and try to.
Yeah, we have Twilight Pathway still on the table for Harlequins. So getting the engage is not super hard.
Not gonna be able to get into this thing.
We may have actually succeeded in forcing the players to land within the
12-inch bubble.
Yeah, within the 12 inches though.
Is there a space at the very top of this objective of this deployment zone? With this
I don't
little
think for
corner?
I don't think for 4 models.
God,
No.
they're 25 mil bases though. They're teeny tiny boys.
Not that small though. That's You can maybe. I don't even know that you could fit 3 in there.
2 obsec models on that.
Yeah, maybe it may be a little bit too big.
Can they deploy? No, obviously they can't because the Lich Guard would prevent that. I think that they have to deploy.
They might have to just eat the shot.
Yeah, I think they just have to eat the shot, either
Ooh,
in the
boy.
other corner over there or in the space along the table edge between Illuminor and the Hexmark.
Yeah. This is going to be super close. It looks to me like Raze may be able to clinch it right at the at the 11th hour here.
Well, that is unless the Twilight Pathways player unit just kills the Hexmark Destroyer.
Well, that doesn't matter, right?
Well, then it doesn't have a. Well, you're right. Actually, it does.
Yeah, they're about to come in the reinforcement set. That guy will very much be alive. I mean, what we could do is just try to make it difficult for Raze to score that objective back.
Mm-hmm.
He has Silent King on 3. He has the Illuminor on 2. And if he can, he just have to clear. We have to basically ask the question, can you kill all of these models with your Lich Guard? And the answer is probably not, to be honest. If we do get the Twilight Pathways at that into the Hexmark Destroyer, we do have 1 CP on the Necron side. So potentially reanimate that guy. But we need that. We need that for the.
You need that for that. And even if they
just kidding, I'm the silly guy.
Even if they don't land there, I mean, you might save that for the Overwatch of the Hexmark Destroyer if the players attempt to go into him.
Yeah.
He Overwatches on 2s. He has the Relic, which will peel. I mean, that's a 12-man player squad. That'll peel like 2 out by itself.
Right.
So he can probably peel 4 or 5 out of the unit, and possibly survive the charge.
Yeah.
As far as your Skyrunner, though, like one of the big risks here is if you manage to throw enough of your units away that you give the Necrons grind.
That would be not good.
Like, I don't. This Farseer Skyrunner doesn't. I mean, it looks like he's just orienting for a smite, not a charge. But like, charging either of these units would not be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I get the problem would be that if he charges the Lich Guard, he potentially gives them the additional movement to get up to the player troop on Objective 1 more easily. But if he's able to engage them and they don't kill him, they don't kill her back, which is unlikely. I mean, she's at an invulnerable save, a 4+ invulnerable save with 6 wounds.
I mean, how much damage does a Lich Guard do?
Just 1. They basically have power swords. Yeah. Yeah, they're tanky, but they're not punchy. Yeah, definitely don't touch Zarek. That would be a mistake of the highest order. Also, I love this trio of characters at low wounds over here, just like asking to be ground down.
Spikes will. Maybe we'll try to help out.
So it looks like we may only be looking for a 2, or only getting a 2-point engage turn. Are we trying to kill Sarek here?
All right.
Might be orienting to try.
Yeah, that's the movement.
Yeah, I guess we might as well throw the smites into him. If he dies, like, I think that's that may be game. If he dies and we can send the players into the Hexmark, there's only 2 models, 2 units left on the table, and you can
Put it up to 10.
you can potentially
No, but
stop them from
this
getting
guy's
anywhere.
thing's not on his base.
Ugh. Now he's got a funky base. Just measure, man. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little bit less than that, basically.
If you like,
I mean, I'm not a big fan of this gap over here, though. Is this outside of 12? Or are we just... They can't fit in there. No way.
So there's a problem where Saris's aura is like is significantly larger than his base right now.
Probably not, but
I don't think we can fit there and be out of the Hexmark's line of sight. I don't, like, if they could do it anywhere, it would be out of range in the opposite corner by the troops.
Chad, I would love it if the Witchblade on the Witchblade on the Skyrunner killed the Silent King. That'd be amazing. Unfortunately, it's AP 0, so he's kind of tanky against that stuff. Or I guess he's only a 3-up save. It could happen. All right.
Oh no, he's not in range. Oh wait, no, I guess he was because we're taking the shots. All hit, all wound.
Ugh.
Whoops.
Every kill just gives another shot.
Okay.
3 more shots, or is that 4 more? Is that the whole unit?
They die. Alright.
That's the unit.
That might-
Oh yeah, he shoots 18 inches.
What? Oh, it's an 18-inch gun?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, never mind. All right.
Well, that whole thing was.
Okay.
We were definitely expecting the pistols to be 12.
Yeah, let's just see what we can do.
Unstoppable.
Yikes!
That is a good ability.
I think that is just game, right? That's just it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I think
so.
Jonathan. Did Jonathan just punt that hardcore? I think so.
Well, he had to land them somewhere.
He did have to land them somewhere. Yeah, but
Do I care if you keep
yeah, I
zeros?
mean, I guess there's no way not to do that. You have to just hope that he makes the saves.
Yeah.
So,
Huh. All right.
There you go.
Well, that's
All right.
game, I guess.
All right. Judge Shotun's Gloctopus wins again.
The Gloctopus.
goes off.
Okay. So these guys. Just
Yeah,
go
this Hexmark Destroyer,
forward.
I think 100% just won this game.
Yeah, I don't know that they can
I don't-
mathematically
so,
come back.
yeah,
At
we
this point, they needed that 10.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
let's
get
do
5
a
additional
snipe from the
points up
shadows
to
here.
69.
Huzzah.
Hey,
Big boy
appreciate
for 2.
Jonathan for
Down
getting
to
us to
7.
that level. But yeah, there's no
Green
other points on the
will-
table for him.
Yeah.
He just loses.
Necrons pick up minimum 5 here.
Huh.
I mean, that's a unit on grind.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, that's it. There's no thinking about it. That's just the game. Wow. All right.
4, 6.
The Gloctopus. Look at this guy.
That guy, he's got to have a cigarette that's like half burnt down in his mouth over there, you know? Cowboy hat on.
God, what a bottle
when
this dude is.
He only speaks in single, very like short sentences, and it's always for the really.
I'm gonna be honest. The 18-inch pistol would have gotten me too. In fairness,
Yeah.
I definitely thought this guy shot 12 inches.
Put one
The gauntlet of the conflagrator is 12.
It is,
But
yeah.
not his regular pistols.
So it's just
He needs a raise.
Four,
He needs a raise, R-A-Z-E, to show us how good he is.
Uh,
Silent King went down.
Okay.
GG,
You
Silent
think,
King.
you think he like screamed at the end there? Like did one of those like Wilhelm screams?
No. He was stoic to the last.
So shooting.
You think like one of the little Phaerons like that are in the basket cases on the sides of his thing when they fell off though?
Oh yeah, they are loud people. Yeah, the My Will Be Done actually doesn't come from the Silent King himself. The Silent King is just a puppet ruler. It's like the little dejected idiots on the side of his throne. That's the true power behind his throne. Or I guess it's the true power to the left and to the right of the throne.
Hits and nothing. All right.
Yeah, he's like you can't tell because he's like a 15-foot tall robot, but he's actually just like a 4-year-old child.
4 shots.
And it's just like two like regents that
5s.
are just constantly scheming.
Yeah.
Nothing. All right. So charging. Farseer into the Witchguard.
Oh, Farseer. Get him, girl.
That's an 8. She's in. Players into.
Do we go for this charge in the hex mark?
Players will just go into Witchguard.
I guess not.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess you just need 2 players on the objective to take away,
7.
or just 1, I guess, to
There as
contest.
well. That's.
Yeah, the Witchguard is strung out in such ways they are not getting many attacks in either direction.
Yeah, so with this game being mathematically over, I guess we'll chat's requesting to go to the other table, so let's do
Oh,
that.
yeah, let's do it.
There.
So it looks like we are in a precarious position. We are top or bottom of round 3, 2 15-point turns for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Although in fairness, most of both armies are still on the table. The Retributors, I think, appropriately got destroyed. It looks like the Calidus Assassin went in and I think is dead now. Yeah, I think so. And we're just being physically body blocked with this plane and not really able to get where we need to.
How tall is the tallest point of this crate?
Here's about
I'm going to be
4
honest,
inches.
everyone.
Should be about
All these
4 inches
Sororitas
tall.
players just keep talking about how they like going second, but I think this is what happens when you go second against like a really hyper-aggressive board control style army.
Yeah, I have no idea why they say that.
Yeah, like I like going second. I was like, well, you could make me break cover, but real talk, I won't, and I'll just make you leave your cover with your rhinos first.
Just a real one. Okay, I know this thing. So this one can stack here. One of them can stack up here. So they're in a coherency bubble with themselves.
Okay.
This is quite the deficit, even with a lot left on the table for the sisters.
Yeah. In fairness, like we're gonna get to a point where the where the Adeptus Mechanicus just like literally run out of primaries that they are able to score, right? Like they only have 15 more points in the chamber, whereas the Sororitas could still score all of the points.
That's true, but I think the Admech have already taken all of their banners, broken them over their knee, and like thrown them into a wood chipper. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna
raise
be
the banners high. What a
I
choice
do not
in this
know why
army.
you would take that one.
yeah. I see that pick a lot on battle lines, and it's an odd one, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's like a 5 guaranteed points, right? Because you're just gonna score it 5 times on your own objective.
Are you? It is defended by a single rhino, and it's surrounded by enemies.
Yeah, I think you're okay. Like, there's mortifiers everywhere over there,
Yeah,
right?
I suppose that's true.
Soon anyway.
But
this engage pick is also like
I like the engage pick. Like you got reserves, you got the deep strikers coming in, and you can start picking up 3 points a turn like pretty easily once everything gets stuck in. Yeah, the race of banners is curious to me, I guess.
it feels like they just play such a pressure game that you end up pulling your reserves into your own table side.
Yeah, Adeptus Mechanicus is so toxic to strategic reserves.
Yeah, that's toxic in general. Yeah.
Looks like Celestine also dead for real. Becky also dead. The Triumph is dead. Oh no, this is not a good situation to be in. What do you do here? The Adeptus Mechanicus have such board controllers. You're just going to continue to hammer this army with indirect fire.
I cannot find my creature.
I have no idea.
Also exists somewhere.
I just like you predicate your playstyle on playing hyper cagey, but you take multiple secondaries that require you play hyper aggressively and just take up the board.
You want to just
And like
throw a
this
Retributor
Admech army
down?
engages
Not a
so
Retributor, a
efficiently
Sheriff
with
down,
trades
call it
against
a
an army that like
creature.
desperately wants to try and trade up, but like unless you can somehow like do the hole in one and manage to get a repent unit into the chickens.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that trades up. Everything's so cheap in this Necron or in this Admech force.
Definitely a point in favor of Adeptus Mechanicus in the matchup. They have several tools that are really important to fight against Sororitas with. One of them being super efficient units, the other one being indirect fire and the ability to fire out a line of sight. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I've really seen this matchup that often, play out, but it does seem rough for the sisters.
Especially when you have units like the Shirtless Men. I never know which of the two, Electro Priests these are.
Fulgurites have a...
Yeah, the shooty ones.
No, Fulgurites are the stick guys because they carry a Folger. Like a stick.
Like the coffee brand?
Yes. They carry, and if it helps you remember the difference, they carry enormous coffee stirrers around to battle with them.
Okay, and those are the ones, and the ones that we are seeing are the ones that shoot, correct?
We see both. The teal unit is the stick guys, and the yellow unit are the jazz hands boys.
Well, the Jazz Hands boys, I was roundabout saying, are actually quite good under Repentia. Their Overwatch is extreme into that unit, and you could just kind of broadly deploy in front of them and walk forward, and Sisters don't have a lot of firepower that they want to dedicate to this squad.
Yeah.
Outside of mortar fires that can't really risk revealing themselves to do so,
right.
Which is why the squad is, unshot so far.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you have to consider, Battle Lines is a pretty... in fairness, is a sort of vehicle toxic map.
Yeah, it's a very cover heavy.
Yeah, there's a lot of obstacles that are difficult for vehicles to maneuver through, and especially being able to drop planes and Cerberus raiders on your opponent's side of the table means that These vehicles never really get the chance to move up. On the flip side, that also means that they are unmolested so far. So we may get to this, the stage towards the late game that if Ash is able to deal with some of these frontline units, she can just sink 7 mortifiers into her opponent's army and just start engaging everything. She's running out of turns to do that, though.
Yeah,
So-
unfortunately, if you're at like a 45-point primary deficit,
Yeah.
I don't know how much that'll help.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, looks like on the other table they're talking out the end.
Yep. We're gonna switch it back to that table
Oh.
for a little bit here to do a post game breakdown with the players. So
Managed to kill a lot of the players here. Not the players, but the players.
yeah, okay, yeah, the players haven't literally murdered themselves yet. That comes later.
Rex like leaves his apartment and the Hexmark Destroyer sees him translocating, just like lands in front of him.
Moments that I rolled
If anybody has any
kind of
any
spun
questions
it
for
hard,
Raze or
like,
Jonathan,
not
go ahead and
killing
throw them in the
those
chat.
was huge with the players, because that would have denied you 5 primaries, and then I could have just went in here and scrambler. Actually, it would have denied you 10 primary points because you held more that turn too, right? And then like just failing like a lot of like rolls that I have to CP for, and like just burning through my CP. Like the advance of the Shadow Seer, I literally needed like a 2 to get where I wanted to go, and she rolled a 1. And then her failing a smite, re-rolling into a perils.
I don't actually know if that made a difference in the long run.
I mean, it's just more damage that I could have gotten out, right? Like her taking the damage wasn't a huge problem. It was
She would have snited wraiths that died anyway, right? It would have potentially.
that wasn't into the race. I was into Admech here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that might have been able to kill him. I would
'Cause-
still be able to resurrect if I roll a 4, which
Yeah, no, for sure. But then that's another CP down, and then he's like on D3 wounds, right? And then like he comes out, and then I can just pick him up with another smite next turn, right?
Yeah, and I brought Sarah's out to actually try and force you back to corral you out of the quit table quarters. So that worked. You had some ridiculous smite output.
I mean, but that's what they do, though. Like,
Right, I know,
that,
but holy crap.
that's expected. That's like the average. Like,
You're not expected to roll 10 on all your smites. Like, okay, I'm just waiting for like a 6 or a 7, and I can try and deny. And it's like, no.
I mean, I guess, but well, to be fair, you did deny. Out of the 3 attempts you made to deny, you denied 2. Power.
Yeah, they were like rolls of 7.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but like, that mortal wound output is expected. Like the fact that I only got 1 super smite the entire game was kind of below average. When I'm putting out, 4 potential super smites a turn.
It's pretty
And
solid.
then-
I can see why you're bringing the parse here, because it just could go wherever it wants and then
Yeah.
a smite bomb. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also not killing those wraiths with the players was very unfortunate. I guess it didn't impact too much. I don't know.
I think players are actually pretty bad against wraiths, just because 2 damage doesn't line up particularly well against 3 wounds and a 4 up and vulnerable.
No, but I mean, if they didn't roll a terrible charge, then they would have wiped them, right?
Yeah, potentially 2 more players would 8 attacks.
8 more attacks at 2 damage.
Another
Yeah.
4 more wounds through. Because I'd save 50%. That seems like it'd been pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think you made any particular mistakes. Nothing that I saw. I already know the chat is criticizing me for keeping the Lich Guard behind this wall for the entire game. I can hear it now. But they did their job. Got at the middle, they held the point, they gave me a chance to hold the point 1 if I needed to.
Well, chat was saying that until you managed to ace out both of those Scramblers units with one the chat named the Gloctopus unit there.
Yeah, how good are Hexmark Destroyers? Holy crap.
It's so good.
Okay, so a lot of stuff in the Necron Codex is only good against one thing, but if they're the thing they're good against, they're very good against it. And the Hexmark Destroyer is good against low
Objective
toughness models that come into Scramble.
Yeah. Which is all Scramblers units.
Yeah, basically.
The Gauntlet of the Configurator, I think it's pretty bad, but on him, since you can fire it when someone comes in from Deep Strike, it's like, hey, it's like maybe 1 more chance to do a wound, which I'll take. I think it's
I like that guy as a play, as a counter, like a counter Bloodletter Bomb, where you just leave a him-sized hole in one of your own units, and like when a Bloodletter Bomb or like an Orc unit like jumps, you land in that hole to where he also has to be a charge target. So you then shoot the pistols plus the Conflagrator, and then you also Overwatch with them to shoot the pistols plus the Conflagrator, and he kills like 21 Orcs on average.
Is it possible to have the hole that they would have to charge?
You can manipulate the table in such a way as to where it's a thing that they kind of have to do. It's not easy, but it's doable, especially on some maps.
I think maybe the only one criticism I did have for your play is like turns 3 or 4. You brought your 2 Sky Reavers back here. You left this objective empty, so you had to have something there to hold it down, which is a good.
Yeah.
It was unavoidable, but I was happy to have just the 2 Sky Weavers stuck there, not shooting Sarahs for 3 turns.
I mean, but like 2 Sky Reavers don't actually do much. Like they do like, I don't know, like 2-3 mortal wounds at most.
That's true. His man output was also crazy. Sarah's, I like you, buddy. You're really cool, but by God, you don't put in work.
Yeah, I think one thing that I should have done differently is I should have the players that were here that killed the Immortals. I should have consolidated them this way, so that when you charge here, you wouldn't be able to get like all the way back here and deny so much of the deployment zone.
So that probably would have been a better play.
Yeah, because like if you were here, then like I could have, gotten away like outside of range from him, right?
18 inches? Yeah,
because I could have just gone like right there. So I think that was like the main mistake I made.
Well, let's see. Do you win even with scramblers?
Probably not.
It would be a 79 to 68 or 86.
Yeah. Like so, basically, like the moment I didn't get the scramblers, it was like, okay, that's game. But basically, what would have had to happen if I did get the scramblers was I had to wipe the Lich Guard and then consolidate onto this point. Because then if I'm here and there's no Lich Guard here, the Hexmark Destroyer, I mean, even if you kill that whole squad, and then I'm holding 3, so like you'd get 10 here.
Go back. This Lich Guard has to go back on point.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lich Guard needed to be dead in that situation, right? Because
Yes,
they could just go to one of the objectives. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah.
That was a
sad. I'm sad that got split into 3 chunks, because this is a VOD I actually really want to go back and watch and like understand, get the feedback, and try and improve my play.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I don't know how YouTube's gonna save it, but I'm probably gonna splice it together if it saved it in chunks. YouTube is usually pretty good about repairing damage like that, so I think it might be one file.
Still gonna have glorious Trevi desktop in that VOD?
Maybe. Who knows? We get to see all my folders.
I know it hasn't happened yet, but does the chat have any questions for anyone?
So we sent out the call for questions. Let's see if anybody has any. Not yet.
All right. Between our 2 co-commentators, do you have anything you want to say to me or Josh?
No, I thought it was pretty well played on both sides. I'm kind of interested in the Anarchy or the Traveler pick. He seems very expensive. Like he seems like he provides some good buffs, but that guy is like a brick of points.
It's a lot of points. The main reason I bring him is because he's strength 8, so he wounds on 2s in melee. He brings me another D6 damage gun, which granted I only get 1 shot, but as you can tell, my list is kind of strapped for anti-vehicle. That's another reason I'm bringing Illuminor, is because he has a D6 damage weapon. And the +1 attack on core, it affects virtually my entire army. So it doesn't really matter where he is. He will be there and making a positive impact, generally speaking.
Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously they might just snipe this back out, because a Doomstalker is the exact same cost as him, if the need is like long-range anti-tank.
But a Doomstalker is going to hit on 4s with D6 shots, and if it moves, I don't even get those. Anarchyr, I can put him in a building and point his stick out a window and shoot a plane with him.
Yeah, that's true. But hitting on 4s with D6 shots is about the same as hitting on 2s with a single shot.
and you get to do it every turn.
It doesn't
you get
seem
to do
as
it 5 more
exciting
times.
unsupported though, especially
Yeah,
because
that's right.
it wants the cryptex nearby to give it the +1, right? And then also, you can just your opponent can also shoot it, right? So,
Like,
I mean, maybe it pulls fire from Sarek, but I don't know if that's something you care about.
not necessarily. Like, I'll try and keep Sarek back for as long as I can, but like what I did in this game, if he lives through turn 1, I'm going to put the Menhirs out and try and get as much work out of them as I can. Because if you're not shooting them each turn, there's no reason to bring him, really.
Yeah. I don't know if we missed it, but did he get to one-shot any Starweavers with the Menhirs?
He did, turn 1.
Yes!
Yeah, you did kill one.
Yeah, we were pretty excited for that.
I was super stoked. I also screwed up turn 1. Like, I was supposed to move Sarah's out first, so he could also get line on one of the Starweavers to put some more shots on it. But I moved Sarah's first because I was like, okay, I need to get him there. I need to make sure he's in range. Got to make it all line up. And then I realized, oh yeah, he's got a gun too. He could have been right here,
Yeah.
30 inches away.
We did have a question from AWE422 asking why, Raze, you're playing Immortals over Warriors.
Well, in my experience, Warriors are more expensive, one, and I'm bringing them to hold points, and since Immortals have such a small footprint, it makes it much easier to hide them, and generally for what I'm using them for, they're far, far more durable. Indirect fire, like say from a Scorpii, is they can live through it. It'll just bounce right off of them, because they'll have a 2-up armor save and cover, which will go to a 3-up with -1, so I'll maybe lose 2 or 3 a turn, get 1 or 2 of those back, and then Illuminor can put another one up. So they're very cheap and durable for what I need them to do, which is just hold points.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like down here, granted, the 2 objectives kind of gave up your plan, Josh, but the maneuver to move the Immortals out was to try and bait more of your army into 1 quarter to make it harder for me, easier for me to score Purge the Vermin. Granted, your list is so damn fast. I only made it so you could only go here instead of over here, for example.
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted second turn. Like I went into this like, please God, let me roll a bad roll on the go first.
For once, my terrible dice have cursed you, because I rolled a 1.
Yeah, if only it was pre FAQ. But like those like that was another thing. It's like between Executioner, 3 bikes, a Starweaver, and a Death Jester, those Immortals should be dead. But then I had to spend an extra CP to disembark there to take the point. Like it's just.
I think if you hadn't fired out a sequence and pulled the 1 Immortal who was in range of the pistols, you probably would have wiped the squad. I think you hit me with psychic powers because you're trying to wipe the squad with Executioner.
Yeah.
And that pulled the 1 Immortal that was in the range of pistols.
No, right, but 5 fusion pistols don't kill an Immortal squad.
You'd be surprised. They do a really good job. You hit on 3s, win on 3s, and I don't get a save.
Yeah, but like 5 shots hitting on 3s, that's like 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, that's 2 wounds. I killed 2.
Yeah, you just kill 2, and your Executioner
Killed 3.
no, probably killed 2.
I'm pretty sure
it killed 3
because the bikes didn't kill any, and then the Starweaver and Death Jester didn't kill any.
Or did I? No, I didn't deny the Executioner. I think I tried to strat it, and I went, oh, that's 18.
Yeah. No, the Executioner killed 3. Like, Executioner, on average, should kill 4.
It's pretty solid.
It's very good. So like that kills 4, and then the bikes should be able to pick up whatever's left. But they rolled 4 shots.
So, let's see. Is this your first game in the pod?
Yeah, it is.
Dude, good luck against the Admech player. It's a rough matchup.
Yeah, I think it's doable. I don't know. Are we still on stream, Trevi?
Yes.
Okay, then I won't say too much.
Yeah, no
I'm
worries.
just strictly talking about List versus Lich matchup. That is got some ridiculous output. It's very impressive.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. These are both really interesting and cool lists. I like that they're not sort of the standard take on each of your factions, which is really interesting. And it was exciting to see them fight because this matchup was really cool and the game was really tight. So congratulations to both of you.
Thanks, Trevi, and thanks for everybody watching, and thanks to you, Josh. It was a very nail biting game, and I had deep breath. I was nervous coming into this, and I feel a lot of relief right now.
Yeah, I can imagine it for sure. So yeah, thanks. Thank you guys for playing. I'll let you guys go. We're all set over here. Big thanks to you, famous Hollywood actor Matt Damon, for coming on our little stream. I appreciate it.
Actually, who won the other game, Trevi?
Still going. They're still fighting
Really?
it out. It is. It's an interesting one. We're gonna be jumping back to that right after this, but Ash C is sort of penned into a corner by the Admech board control and losing hard on primary, but she still has 7 mortifiers and most of her Repentia on the table. So who knows what's going to happen at the end? I mean, Ash has done crazier things than pull out games, difficult games. So I'm excited to watch the tail end of this game.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
See you around.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Actually, so hold on.
All right, chat. We're popping back over to the other stream. I'll get Shima
7
back on here momentarily.
plus 26 is 31. You're still in middle bracket, so that's okay. He's got 40 inches.
So
All
awesome
right,
game between
shooting phase.
Raze and Jonathan there.
Actually,
Ooh, boy.
in shooting phase, data losses fix the.
It's a great game when you're like at the last
as
second,
his
you're sure that
mortal
one player
enemies.
has just mathematically lost, and then you realize that a single gun on a single unit is 6 inches farther than you thought.
Right.
So,
We will
very different.
start
Yeah,
with
that was
Vanguard. So
super
we'll shoot
cool.
The Repentia.
And
Who'd have thunk 18 inches feels like the longest
Purple
range?
Vanguard.
I know. Well, yeah, when you only have to cover your own deployment zone with it. Oh boy. Yeah. Super cool to see that. I mean, that is some incredible counter-meta tech coming out of Necrons there. And I don't know if anybody else is playing Hexmark Destroyers, but oh my god, if you're a Necron player and you haven't bought one of those guys yet, get on that. Oh my god. That's not something that I think I've played against... or Necron. I've played against Necron players who have brought, and I'm glad that I haven't, but I think I'm going to lose all my lictors. No.
Yeah, that's it's very vulnerable, boy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm dealing with commandos. If anything's gonna die, it's those things. It's like, oh no, I killed 3 of them. Time to fire 3 more shots and kill the other. Oh, you only.
Yeah. And if we're worried about these like toughness 3 kind of high invulnerable save units, that guy will kill most of a player troop in one go. So I'm gonna try to hop in on the main screen with this next game, chat. So give me 1 sec.
Put his Belarus into. Actually, no. He's gonna put his Stubbers into the Repentia.
Valdor, I have been on Team Hexmark from the very beginning, but I did have to fight people that were very much against that guy.
And then Belarus into these mortifiers. So Belarus into mortifiers first, hitting you for 6 shots. Rerolling 1s. Actually, did I lie? Am I in range? No, I'm just in range. 2 extra hits. No, just 2 wounds and -1 into the mortifiers. Mortifiers 1.
Or ups. 5 up right now, so.
All right, we're gonna cut over to the main cam with a very pleasant message from
missile shots into the
from Ash C there. Thanks, Ash. I appreciate it. That's me, the butt spectator. Classy as ever, these Sororitas players, you know?
That really got me.
So it looks like we had a big push of aggression coming out of the Sisters list. Both Repentia units committed. The Corpuscarii dropped down to 4 models. The Fulgurites entirely dead. And we're going to see how many
Stubbers.
sisters survive the swing back. I imagine this entire unit of Repentia 2 are about to get killed by las cannons and stubbers, and the other one maybe by indirect fire. Also, there's an Archaeopter still here. What's he doing? What are you doing here, Archaeopter? Hasn't somebody shot you with a Meltagun yet?
Yeah, sisters are a lot like yo-yos. You know, the harder you pull them,
This
you know, the
one's
stronger
coming
they
down, put
eventually
stubbers
snap
in the
back.
battle,
Yeah.
use everything else in the mortifiers.
For sure.
Sisters.
Yeah, no Meltaguns left, Chad. The Retributors came out to kill the Scorpius Dune Rider, but they got killed.
Yeah, no Celestine left either, so...
Yeah, ooh, it's looking rough. I mean, these mortifiers are still trucking. They're slowly making their way up the table, but I think it's too slow.
And I mean, at the very least, they can at least put shots into the plane, essentially from anywhere and from safety. So perhaps over time they can pull it down. But
Yeah.
One of those was a
time.
success,
Yeah, Chad, I don't know if we have any of like the big punchy units that we really want to like start pulling down these Iron Striders in big numbers. The Meltaguns are off the table, like we said. The Mortifiers are slowly getting whittled down, and the Repentia are all committed. And it looks like this unit on Objective 3 is about to see its last. They're about to generate themselves a miracle die for dying on the field of battle. They do that, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
They use that to sit at the foot of the Emperor.
Yeah. So yeah, they're about to go meet the Emperor, I think. Under a hail of Belros energy cannon shots. So I mean, maybe the Mortifiers can get in and start mixing it up and start pulling those Iron Striders down. But like we just mentioned earlier, we only have 2 battle rounds left in the game. Like I don't even know if these Mortifiers get into melee. We'll do a quick CP count here. It looks like Ash is entirely spent. Alex down to 1 CP. We are 1-0 on command points. So that would be her entire stack of CP if we wanted to drop a Holy Rage to advance and charge.
Yeah, and at this point, when you're this low on CP as sisters, you're relying so heavily just on the raw stat lines of both of these armies, which unfortunately does kind of favor Mechanicus.
It definitely favors the army with many tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It turns out. Fun fact, chat. I don't know if any of you are whizzes at math or statistics, but a big tank is harder to kill than a human. Mathematically.
Yeah, I mean that's why the Soviets made 50,000 of them in World War II. Turns out if you have a tank for every man, woman, and child in the opposing army,
Rifle.
Yeah.
It hits.
you know, it goes pretty well.
3 wounds.
Is Robo Man a human though? He's like a different species.
Well, he's a boat.
He's a
He's a rowboat man.
He's a boat with a bunch of leaves taped to him. Because he's a rowboat ghillie man.
He'll shoot the sisters.
This
These
is a
3
joke.
shots.
Can you please explain it to both me and Jimmy?
For a second, I dropped something important.
Okay.
I knocked something over and I really need to find this.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Ash having a personal emergency. You can go ahead and pause for her, I think. That's okay. I don't think this game's going to come down to time anyway. Ash is... I will say, if there is one avenue to victory for Ash, it is potentially time. She is 24 minutes above her opponent. And just completed her turn.
Yeah.
So...
No, usually if you're gonna time out, you definitely want to be at like a solid 25 to 30 points.
Yeah, I mean,
above
yeah,
your
it is
opponent
a 27-point lead right now. So yeah, what is the avenue to victory here? I imagine all these Repentia get wiped. These Battle Sisters in the center may go down as well to the direct fire shooting. We do have a Preacher on Objective 2, just there, ready to fight. I wonder if he's within 3 inches of the Corpus Garii. That could be obnoxious if he just intervenes into that unit and ties him up.
I mean, first of all, to score out, you need two 15-point turns coming up. So you need to move up to these 2 metal objectives and hold both of them for the duration.
Yeah.
And I mean, you sprint the sisters up, you get the Repentia on there, you find out a way to kill all of the troops that are sitting on the other. I mean, the Electro Priests themselves at least aren't OBSEC, so you can out-OBSEC them, and maybe you tie them up with, like, the Rhino charging them. That is such a hill to climb, though. That assumes the plane does nothing, that assumes that so many units don't really act or that they completely fail.
Yeah. These Battle Sister models are gorgeous, by the way.
They're great.
These do not look like Dawn of War 1 rescues.
Oh, no, they're not.
These are custom, right?
I think they're the same ones that the Ghost and the Shell Lady candidates comes from. They're like these like hyper ornate
give myself a pocket.
and very like shiny textured model sets that all I think came from the same source.
Yeah.
All right, so that was them. So Data Losses is putting 2 shots into
If only
sisters,
Space
I
Marine
think
models
this
look
is
that good.
getting them on free
Don't you have the Blue Circle Space Marine models, Valdor? That are the most gorgeous models in TTS? Get out of here.
Fails to wound.
Directly away.
Okay, so we've got 1 Repentia.
Look, Space Marines get enough models in real life. They don't need the good models in
over there.
TTS too.
They have the good models, though. Those TTS Space Marine models look better than the ones in
Bunch
real
of
life.
Yeah, you're not really wrong.
It's like saying Magnus doesn't have any good models in TTS. Like, get out of here.
So
Well,
They got the
doesn't-
best
doesn't have-
one.
He doesn't have the shirtless version, which is the
one
really good version.
Muscle Beach Magnus.
Yeah, they only have like the goofy armor with like the chest horns. Like no
Yeah.
one wants to see that. Everyone wants to see those like rippling pectoral muscles.
Or Orange Blue Who, I think, is the sculptor who makes the nice Space Marine models. I think I misspoke his name.
Okay.
I apologize.
My last Disintegrators. No. My Fusillade.
Oh, Valdor, did you look at like
You can
today's like
shoot
community
the
article for Dark
Repentia
Angels where
over.
they just for some reason they just put a bunch of their I think still
So that's gonna
in
be
print
12
but like
shots hitting on
ancient
fours
character
because
models
it's
just like
back.
right on screen.
Ooh.
They are yikes.
You on threes.
That are still fine cast for some reason.
Yeah, these like tiny midget men that are like squish faced
Right here.
and oddly painted.
Ooh. Maybe we'll get new models when that Codex comes out. Oh no.
Hopefully
maybe
not.
Maybe not. Maybe we don't.
I feel like we've had enough Space Marine releases
Yeah, maybe,
over
I think
the,
you're right.
the past year.
So Repention 3 are down.
Oh no.
This Disintegrator is going to go.
That-
He's gonna
that mountain
put
gets
Stubborns
taller
into
while
this
we're
Repentia
climbing.
squad.
Yeah.
He's going to put his missiles
At least we got a preview on a Tyranid finally.
into.
Did we?
the-
Because they also hinted that it could be a Slaanesh demon. So
There's no
He's
way.
going to put his.
I don't know.
That doesn't look like a Slanesh demon thing at all.
It could be though.
Yeah, maybe it has like a Tyranid part. Maybe it's like holding a Tyrannid's like severed arm or something.
Maybe it's a
Like, I
Space
can see
Marine
that.
holding a Tyranid. You don't even know.
Maybe it's a Space Marine
So
with a
the Night
dead
Stubborn
Slaneshi model on its
going
base, and the
into
Slaneshi model
this
have like a
Repentia.
trophy
I
rack with a
did check.
Tyranid on it.
Yeah.
There is a line of sight there.
They're getting really ornate with these like the double tricks on the
Ones.
Lieutenant, like Primaris Lieutenant spaces now.
4 saves on her.
You guys, I get another miracle. It's 6.
Okay.
Doc mentioning
And D6
Admech
missile
running out of
shots
time
into
here.
The Mortifier.
But I mean, if all the time spent is spent killing the remaining sisters models, you might just be able to sit
thankfully.
on your like about to be 30
He's in that
points.
range.
Yeah. This
Like
we may get to the
Superior
situation
here.
where it doesn't matter how much
7.
time you have left.
yeah,
Yeah, when you're out of time.
I'm gonna spend my last CP. What else would that give me? No, that's fine. I'm gonna spend my last CP. Reroll one of these. So 2 saves at -2 on the Mortifier.
So this is a CP reroll to try to knock out this last Mortifier, and it does. 2 failed saves. I
4.
mean, they could make a ridiculous number of damage ignore rolls.
Look at him, and then
Could.
83 into the
Could.
sisters that are on that side.
yeah. They
for the
decided to
big
let
Yeah.
Let's leave Dog fly this game.
Continuing that streak of.
Yeah,
of
take it
rolls.
easy on the Admech. Maybe let them have one for once.
Yeah, certainly haven't been doing well this invitational so far.
No. Not at all.
Yeah,
Well, see, there's no fire raptors in this game, so they can actually deal with the opponent's armor.
Yeah, it was. I had 3 6s, so the 2 stayed in, and he brought 2 more 1s in. All right, these are -1 into those sisters.
Yeah, I said ignore me because I thought it was 2, and then I looked at the number.
Oh, no worries. So yeah, that was into these sisters.
Oh, oops, they did. If they're not inside the bubble by like quarter of an inch.
Ooh, missed out on our Tail of the Stoic there.
And then the
Getting
chickens
ripped up
are
by
gonna go.
Belarus.
The chickens will put. We'll throw 1 who can into that rhino. 2 into these sisters, and 2 into these sisters. So the 1 into the rhino. The unbuffed guy is going to go into the back squad. So into rhino, a buffed guy. 2 hits. 2 wounds at -3.
I don't know bombs.
So now Doc remembering its own game on this map.
4 damage. Oh no, that was into the rhino. Yeah.
Oh, oops, so that was 6 7 bombs. Yeah, so 4 damage.
Well, you said 5 up in field though, so it's all good. All right, and then 2 buffed guys into those sisters.
Santa Tam, I kind of like this map. It looked like it was a good looking
Reroll
map.
1,
The lighting did come out nice on this one.
wounding you on 2s at -3.
Like, we could have maybe cut a little bit of the walls in the back down.
No.
But
Damn. Okay.
it's a pleasant map to look at. Like, it is visually
And
appealing.
then the buffed
In a way that
guy
it's
into
calming,
that back
you know?
squad.
Yeah. Yeah, in hindsight,
the
I mean, we
unbuffed
were talking
guy
about this
into that
yesterday,
back
but this is a
squad.
map we designed
Okay.
before anybody was running 18 wound models.
Yeah.
And that sort of change, the shift in the game was a little unfortunate, I think, because none of the walls are very effective at hiding large models at all.
It was also designed very early on when, like, the sort of like the range direct fire alpha strike meta of the game was like very real and like very extreme.
Yeah.
And it was in a lot of ways it was sort of meant to try and fish back a little bit of the massive disparity that was kind of at the beginning of the edition. With
Yeah, that's what all of these maps were meant to do.
Do you have any
And to be honest, the season 3 maps I think are the same or significantly more dense than this one is.
Yeah.
They have taller walls though, so at least your Magnuses don't die on turn 1.
and I also am pretty sure I got grind them down last turn. I believe I killed 3 things to your 2.
So only a 5-point primary for the Sororitas here. I guess we were outside of 3 of that Preacher. I imagine that we were.
Yeah. Valdor wishing on a monkey's paw here for that codex next week. That finger on the monkey's paw just clenched all the way closed, and you're about to open that codex and find the world to be a little bit different than what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we talk about how disappointing that the entire day of spoilers was between the Dark Angel super doctrine of basically do nothing exciting, and then also those weird sisters robots.
Yeah, I've warmed up on the sisters robots a little bit. And also that the stratagems that they showed for Dark Angels, where you basically just beat any Horde army for free for 1 CP.
Yeah,
that was pretty
you're
good.
playing Space Marines though, like that's for par for the course.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Are you telling me you would not drop? You're not going to switch out having permanent transhuman across most of your models for the ability to have your infantry shoot into close combat with their bolters at a 5 blitz skill?
Yeah. I think, chat, regardless of the terrain in the center of the table, the Battle Lines encourages you to essentially play 2 separate games of 40k regardless. I'm not sure that there's any terrain that would make it conducive to people to go to the center in this mission.
Yeah,
But
there's nothing to hold there.
We got to indirectly nerf Oath of Moment before it existed. So take that, Space Marines. There's a single unit in the Space Marines Codex that can hold the center, I believe. Besides characters, maybe.
gonna switch back as far as it possibly can. And then looks like it's shooting. These battle sisters, one can check a frag, the other one will shoot.
Okay.
Frag grenade, one shot. Misses. Full gun. I mean, there's a couple scurry.
Xanatam Blight Lords
Fives
can
and
shoot into combat. They
fives.
just have to put
One
on
dice.
their little hand flamers and be in squads of 3.
These battle sisters are all shooting at ranges.
Can Death Shroud shoot into combat? Are they
Yeah,
guns?
their flamers are pistols.
Ooh.
Stumble
So they can't
gun,
advance and shoot their 12-inch gun?
And I got demoted again.
Hmm.
They
Okay.
can shoot into combat.
Sure. All those combats that they're gonna, those
Okay,
multi-turn
okay.
combats that they're gonna be trapped in.
They
They're not going to be trapped into any because they can fire their pistols.
Got him.
You're like, oh man, these flamers are so
Right,
good.
so,
well, you spend like 20 more points and it becomes a Death
3 of
Shroud
them are
Terminator and has
shooting
like the same
Jessica
damage
Tari.
output, but
I
also
moved
is a
this one to
combat
55.
god.
See, I think no, wait, they can't.
They don't do
spend
mortal
CP
wounds,
to
though.
track 'em.
They don't do mortal wounds with their gun.
No, wait, no, I can
Um,
see the pipe.
Okay.
The pipe is out.
Can't they?
Yep, so that's
There's like a strat
24
for that,
shots
isn't
of
there?
Jessica
I
Tari.
don't know.
Oh no, there's a strat to make it do 2 damage.
Is there?
Yeah, it
Huh.
makes all flamer, all like the spewer flamer type weapons in the entire codex become 2 damage off that strat.
Oh, that's okay.
And it's like really good on those dudes.
I guess it's all right. Pretty good in the mirror, am I right?
Threes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you arch contaminator those guys and you're firing like 5.
did.
Actually, it's 66 because one of them can have a second flamer for no reason.
Yeah.
You just fire like 66 and 2 damage flamers right there with full wound rerolls. And those guys can do quite a bit of damage. Alright, just picked up a squad of vanguards. Or rangers? Those are the rangers.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the Rangers.
And then
I think from the bolter shooting.
Magic Fire will chuck a crack grenade into your fuselage.
Okay.
Xantam, every Space Marine bolter can wound knights on 4s at AP -1 from 30 inches away.
Not anymore. Now they wound on 6s or 5s. It's sad.
Oh, I guess you can't do both of the pluses.
Yeah.
Too. Disgusting.
Big poops.
Wait, how do the Blight Lords do wound him on 4s then?
Because they -1 toughness, so they wound on 5s, and then they give themselves +1 wound.
Yeah.
Not from 30 inches away.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
a.
nice.
That's
Well,
what's
so,
up
I mean,
with this setup.
something else is
Yes.
there.
Well,
They don't
we're not
reroll
even
their-
talking about the 30 inch toughness.
They don't reroll their wounds at 30 inches away, though.
Charges,
That's for sure.
and then LCP, so.
But I mean, I think I've talked about it in the past. I think Blight Lord Terminators are sick, and
Yeah.
the shooting combos with them are so cool. I don't know if they're super competitive, but they are super cool.
I think that they are super competitive. I think they take everything that was good about every other form of Terminator and wraps it all up in one super unit, and then it also costs less than all the competition. The
So
suits
we're
are
gonna-
40 points.
So we're opening a charge with the Mortifiers now to try to get them to Objective 2.
Magify is charging your Skitari.
Kind of opens them to just getting shot a whole bunch of times by last cannons, but maybe that's
I don't think so.
maybe the only way we get out of this this situation is by making all of our invulnerable saves. I think that may be where we're at.
Maybe if we, I mean, maybe the play wasn't to reserve them for like so much for so long, but
Sisters into your
at some point they're
Skitari.
gonna get shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the downside of having to drop
You get 3, so that's
a Rhino out of your list, is that there's not enough to keep all your Repentia safe without strategic reserving, and this is a matchup where strategic reserving just means you do nothing.
And then the multipliers into the Skitari.
Xanatam, is your threshold for whether or not a unit is good or
And
not whether or not they can one round Mortarion?
Oh,
This is a good threshold, in fairness. I would take things that one round Mortarion.
Is it?
more
Because
often
that
than
one
things-
Chaos Knight can do it.
Yeah. I got sick. I think one Chaos Knight probably has play.
Cheers.
I mean, what if you could actually put it in any army without losing most of the benefits? that
I
it
guess
has
that's true, yeah.
and spending like a
One
grip.
Chaos Knight and 2 units of Boraxes.
Like,
There you go. We got the super heavy going.
Yeah, alright, that works.
Yep, so they charge, there was
You could just
things,
put-
so they have
Magnus in that detachment, right?
12, 13, 14 attacks.
Which one? Oh, with the
Chaos Knight.
yeah, but you can't warp time that guy.
You can't. No, but like in order to make your super heavy.
Oh, yeah.
3's count for the 6s, and then
Cool.
3 4s, 2 saves.
5 up.
Although it's not a
And
Chaos
5 up.
Knights detachment at that point,
Save
so I don't know if
one.
you could take a lot of their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get any stratagems or anything from that.
Chaos Knights and Knights in general, but Chaos Knights even more so, are like just this impenetrable book to understand the setup requirements to do anything inside of it.
Yeah. This is a good move, a good casualty pull here from Alex.
5, no,
He's essentially
6,
denied Ash a lot of movement with the consolidation by leaving the one Corpuscarii who is next to all of her models. And that opens him up to getting hit by the Preacher now, but it also gives him options if the unit survives on who to pull for coherency. Because if Ash goes to wrap this guy, we just pull him. But if it matters, we can keep the guy on the objective. So it looks like the second unit of Sisters gets in there and kills them. But
Preacher.
if he had bossed his saves there, it could have been a big deal.
Rerolling because he charged. 2 saves.
5s. Nope, he's good.
Right, and I don't even get a miracle because it wasn't an Act of Faith card unit that killed it. That's my turn.
What
Okay,
hasn't
I
died
get
to
Brendan
avenge
down, I
Circadian
killed 3
Demolisher?
squads to your 2.
Yeah, because my magic.
So
fire
10 minutes
can-
left for Alex for his final turn. I think he's going to be fine on time here.
And then
And he is maxed on primaries.
10 points for
And
holding
up
2.
A casual
Yeah, basically I'm
37
scoring that
points.
in the turn, so I'm scoring 1 for banners and then 1 more for end of game.
Okay, you want to just call it there?
I think I lost like a Stompa
Yeah,
to one of
I
those
figured I
things,
would
like
for that one.
back when I was playing the OG normal
I
Stompa, not the
Will,
God
I
King.
suppose, need to try to... Well, I guess it
This thing's getting hurt. This thing's hurt
doesn't
bad.
super matter.
God King's a Maleceptor.
These
What are you
guys will
talking
basically
about?
just all walk up and shoot.
It
You're
kind
right.
of does because I win the other 2 of multiple tiebreakers.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
What's like an equivalent title? Is there an equivalent title?
these guys will all come up like that.
The Deity
Usually
Emperor.
what I'm trying to do is kill
Yeah, like the
vehicles at this point.
yeah. I ran out of like joke fuel.
So we're going to roll out the attacks on the Mortifiers to try to score our points. As Valdor was talking about in chat, this
He
group
will-
has become strange because everyone, most of the players are X and 1 right now. So
Like that.
we may be in a position where we get a 3,
And go.
3, 2, and 1, which is wild.
So flying over that rhino, it takes 2 mortal wounds.
Got the Rhino. That's a point for Bring It Down.
Go up.
Okay. And then chickens are all gonna shoot into these guys. I think all of them, even one of them can't. So 4 into the mortifiers, and then 1 will go into the little sister squad. So into the mortifiers. How many CP do I have? I have 1. Data loss. This is giving +1 to hit the mortifiers. So I'll spend the CP to give them +1 to wound. So hitting you on 2s, rerolling 1s. Extra hit. Wounding you on 2s. -3. Into the mortifiers.
Alright, 6 up.
Cool.
6 up.
5 damage.
This is a mild nightmare to resolve.
3, 6 up.
6 damage.
Dead.
Alright, and
All saves for
then
the rest.
4 damage,
Roll the next one.
6 total.
Cool. Trevi, don't flip the timer until I'm actually rolling my journal things. Because if I take less than 5
I'm not even going to do it. Just I
know
trust you to do it as fast as possible.
Trevi is doing it.
Oh, okay. All right,
Takes
and
4,
then the next
takes 5.
one does 2 damage.
Dice.
Okay,
one.
and then
Why are we making them slow roll these? This is
5.
whatever. You have 30 minutes, Ashes. You're gonna time out.
God. Dice.
Do you get like
And then the
30
last
points if
one
your opponent
does 3.
times out? Is there like a secret achievement secondary for that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Yeah, what we
2
did need to
shots
do there
into the
is
2 sister
slow roll
squad.
the save dice, right? Or I guess is there one anchor rate? I guess we
One
did.
hit.
Never mind.
No wounds. All right.
Those have like a different save.
Yeah, there was an
How
anchor
much
rate.
time
All right,
do
that
I
makes
have
sense.
left? Got 7 minutes. I've got plenty of time. Okay. This
Anchor
guy
rate is
missiles
anchoring this
into
table
him
quarter.
and
It is a moral victory.
Alright.
if your opponent
Stubber
times
into
out.
Lone Sister, Belarus into Big Sisters. So D6 missile shots into the mortifiers, 1 shot, 2 hits. Wound you on a 3, 2 wounds at -2,
Says
2d3 damage for 4.
did
Okay. 3d3 Belarus shots
Ew.
for 3,
Rip.
3 hits.
now you roll badly when it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
3's at -2. They're good. And then
So not 100%
Stubber
sure that there's still a
into-
very solid path back to the victory here.
this is
for,
Stubber into
for
the.
the
Wait, where'd
sisters.
she go?
You know,
Because I rolled 4s.
I think there might
No. That was Belarus into
It'd be
this
a
squad. So
bit
you rolled
too
3
much of a
4s. No,
difference
they're
between
fine.
these two
They're fine.
No, it's
It's
minus
minus
2.
1.
Oh, you
The
said
Belarus is. Belarus is -1.
Oh, because
yeah.
no, what you said was -2.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my mistake. No, they are.
Both minus
the
one.
sisters making their animation protocols.
Back to life. Here
so
they come.
Stubber's into the little squad. Rerolling 1s. Okay. 4 saves, no AP.
Guys.
All right. 1. And then that was that one. Doing all that. So then this one's gonna put missiles into him, and then everything else into the big squad. So D6 missiles into the Magifier for 5. Hitting you on 3s. Wounding you on 2s. -2.
5 ups. Did I generate Merkel this turn? No, I didn't. I didn't generate one for start of battle round.
No problem.
Good. So it doesn't matter. 5 ups. -2, right? You said?
Yeah, -2. 2d3, so
Doesn't
okay.
matter.
And then 3d3 Belarus into the Big Sister squad for 8. No, for 7. Hitting you on 3s. Wounding you on 2s. -1.
Pause.
Ooh.
I did.
Okay,
Rip.
that's gone. And then last one we'll put Belarus into this rhino, and then everything else into that creature. So Belarus into the rhino. 9 shots.
It really doesn't matter for me.
Yeah.
Definitely not stepping on the brakes towards the end here.
That was
Well,
wounding
yeah,
on
we want
5s,
those bring it down points, right?
And then
Yeah.
saves at -1.
Because all these players have one loss.
Well, what did I roll for you?
Yeah, you rolled my wound roll for me.
I already thought you. I thought you already won that.
No.
Could have miracle diced him a little bit if you're rolling his ripples for him.
D6 missiles into the creature for 4.
Picked it up.
All hit.
Yep, Rhino's dead. This is going to
All
be a
wound,
bunch of bring it down
-2.
points we haven't scored yet.
Yeah, definitely the grind the down as well, because I don't suspect that this half a squad of sisters is
6 damage.
or a single
I
priest.
think
who's
there's
left
one. There's one priest. I think that's
And
it.
That'll be that.
Oh,
That's a table.
Those are rangers down there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Rip. R.I.P. sisters.
Well, that's the grind.
That is the grind.
Sorry about those Belleros shots. Those were ludicrous early on.
All right, chat. If anybody has any questions for the players, go ahead and throw them in there for the breakdown.
And at the end,
Didn't
too.
manage to get the full engage, though,
15,
on the
right?
last turn.
15 battle sequences.
Yeah.
You rolled a grand total of 1 that was less than 6.
Did we
Yeah.
miss the engage in this bottom table quarter this turn? Oh no, there's
Yeah.
a Scorpius. There's a Scorpius.
2 9s.
He's not quite over the middle, the
Oh.
midline.
1 3, 0 4, 0 5s, 8 6s, I believe. And
You were right. They
Four.
managed to get the full 5 on the banner.
4 8s.
Got the full 5 in the banner. Good job, sisters. We got the 5
Yeah.
points.
I think you might even be overselling the 6s. I feel like I rolled consistently higher than average.
Oh, no, that wasn't the number of hits. Your explosions were way above average.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Admech are like the Borg for technology,
So,
but instead of
like-
taking your physical body, they don't
Yeah,
want
it
to kill you.
is,
They
you
just
know,
leave
you
you
can do
naked with
stuff
no possessions.
because
So they're just
the
thieves. Is that what you're
guys
saying?
Don't work
They're
in
just-
a way,
they're just like common muggers.
Gone down to heavy multiplier.
No, that's like
If
what
not,
Games Workshop does when you try and buy a Sisters army, right? 'Cause they're
Or
like
an
$1 trillion.
Admech
Stuff
army.
like
You
that.
trade, you just trade all your possessions in.
Yeah.
You're left like naked on the street, but at least you have like 2 starter boxes.
Techno muggers.
So,
Oof.
I don't know.
Get these scores in for the players.
Literally couldn't do anything the whole game.
86-39. Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Why did you deploy the mortifier so far back?
Because I figured you would bomb them.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there's no point deploying them here.
You can come in the Discord channel, Shima.
Right. No, I kind of thought that you might like throw a squad over here.
But this, I can't because basically I knew what you would do was put your dogs here, and I can't
Right.
do anything about that. And I can't. And if I got first turn, it wouldn't matter because they would be in position to do whatever I wanted them to do anyway.
Hmm.
Because this rhino would just move up to here, right? Because what I
Yeah.
would get is if I got first turn, this rhino would be somewhere here. Yeah. So assuming an average advance, you'll get to here,
Hmm.
which means I would control this choke point.
Right.
And if I didn't get first turn, it literally wouldn't matter where they were. I wasn't gonna move out of my deployment. I couldn't move out of my deployment zone. That was basically it.
Hmm.
So like, I was fine going second as long as I roll okay. I did not roll okay. That's all I can say.
Yeah. No, your 3-ups were not behaving that first couple turns.
First couple of games, you mean?
So, Ash, is this a matchup where you would potentially prefer going first?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I was confident going second, but because I already had a game plan, but I also knew it would be an uphill battle either way. Going first would allow me to push, like take control of the set mid board in a way that going second wouldn't. But like I told Valdo, I was confident going second because I did have a game plan, but I did not expect him to prefer to bomb my Zephyrim over my Mortifiers. And then I failed a charge with my Rhino that was basically a give me. and then I failed another charge with my Magifier later that kind of...
Could the Magifier have killed them in close combat?
Yeah, she had 4 attacks, exploding 6s, wounding on 3s. Like, maybe not killed all 4, but she might have killed... She could have killed 3, and I was hoping for a morale, basically.
Makes sense.
Or a spike, you know, that was... That, you know, I was kind of old at this point. By the dice gods.
That is, I think, scientifically how dice work. So, that's fair.
I mean, it's just me cheating. Like, we're playing a game on a computer and I'm running Admech. Like, clearly it's all rigged in my favor.
Yeah, the tech priests are in there, they're just mucking with the dice roller.
Yep.
They're just like,
that's where you know how
Robo buddies.
In all of pods, I had a Manipulus in my list, but that's where he's gone. He's just gone into the dice roll.
Right. Yeah, he's you don't have to physically reroll your ones. He just does it automatically. He just turns your ones into different numbers. Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
I see how it is.
All I wanted for the groups was to have no Admech and no Tyranids. I got one of those.
Well, that's okay. Now you just gotta blast your last 2 matchups. Just you gotta blow up Valdor's Fire Raptor and make him think it's bad again.
Or I could, you know, throw both my games and let Valdor take first place in the pod.
Well, don't do that. He'll get a big head over it. Yeah, this looks like an interesting game. Was just besides the indirect fire, was it mostly, you know, sort of the ability of the Adeptus Mechanicus fast movers to board control the important choke points? Was that a lot of it?
That was a lot of it. It was also the fact that my first salvo of heavy bolters, he saved 7 out of 9 shots.
That's helpful.
On 4-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like the I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a dicing because it wasn't absolutely a dicing, but I will say that the dice basically made this game unwinnable.
Sure, like it's already a tough matchup, so you need to get a little lucky, and it just didn't happen.
I mean, I don't need to get a little lucky. I just need to not roll below average. Like I can play to the averages, but if I don't think I rolled a single thing above average except Catherine saves, and even then they flipped against me in the second set of saves.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only thing I rolled above average was seriously her saves against the last cannons. Everything else was just no. Celestine didn't get back up. My Repentia didn't swing well. My Calidus failed to kill Daedalosus, which is and that's an 80% chance of a kill. So, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit happens, but when too much shit happens, just kind of.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question for you. So I was deathly afraid of your mortifiers getting out and shooting things. Not mortifiers, your retributors getting out and shooting things. So the tagging and positioning I did here in turn 1, did that force you to keep them inside, or were you planning on keeping them inside anyway and waiting for a better? Say again?
I was planning on keeping them inside regardless.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to set up a situation in which you weren't going to tag both planes with them in the same turn, essentially.
I mean, what I was hoping to do was... The other thing I really hate is the fact that these planes are so low when the ones I've seen in real life have been like 2 inches taller.
Are they? I haven't even like I feel like that's about right. They're about The top of them is about as high above the ground as the base is long.
3 point. Are they only 3 inches tall?
No, they're
They're about 6 inches tall, right?
yeah, I'd say so.
And this model is only about 4 inches high.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, they do need to be taller.
Yeah, so if it was if these were actually modeled to scale, just borrow crate. Damn it, I can't spawn shit in.
Here, I'll just I'll lock him
in.
and widget him up 2 inches.
I can't widget anything.
I mean, you could also like
Did you-
you could just model them on their landing struts, right? Like, true line of sight is such a nebulous concept that I don't know if it's.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
but
that actually
comparing
is
it directly
true.
to real life is 100% accurate.
yeah, but if somebody models them without the thing, I can just call it for modeling for advantage thing, and then they'll bring in a demo model and compare.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if if there's modeling for advantage in the rulebook. So,
But tournament organizers are usually very unhappy about people who model shit too much for advantage. In my
sure.
experience, because it's against the spirit of the game.
Sure. Well, they should put a rule in the game that stops that then.
That would discourage conversions.
Yeah. Well,
That-
it sounds like true line of sight is a problem and should be removed, but they haven't yet. So,
So
Womp
like,
womp.
do all your
what
models all you want.
I could have, if the plane had actually been there, what I could have done was disembark at here, right, and
Mhm.
shoot 2 this way and 2 that way. Instead of shooting them at raiders for no reason other than they had no other targets because of the way the models have been done on TPS. Not all.
Yeah, Garuda in chat. If you want to model all of your in-person models 1mm tall, 100% go for it. I'm all for it. It would be very hard to have line of sight and to have line of sight drawn to you.
Are they planning on playing Epic Cubed?
yeah. Play some Epic, man. Do it.
Oh, they're just playing a bunch of Basilisks and Manticores and shit that don't need line of sight.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, if you assemble your basilisks without their guns, it's way easier for those to use those guys.
Yeah, but if you assemble your Basilisks without guns, or just say WYSIWYG and they're not equipped with guns, that's an illegal model.
I mean, you can assemble only the gun, just lie it flat down on the table,
Yeah.
and then there you go.
Then your list is wrong because that's a carriage battery and you're missing the carriage anyway.
I don't think that there is anything that describes how a carriage battery exists.
We're gonna call it here, chat. I want to thank everybody for joining. This is not a super constructive discussion. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. Thanks everybody for watching. The Necron versus Harlequins game was intense. I'm really glad we got to watch that one. Want to throw a big thank you to everyone who supported the stream during it. A lot of people jumped on the subscription on Twitch, and I really appreciate it. That really helps out. And all of the sponsors for the event as well. We got Discount Games Inc., where you can get some pretty cheap Warhammer 40k. They actually give you rebates on a lot of their Warhammer 40k products, which is awesome. We also have 3D6 Wargaming, which makes cool little objective mats and all sorts of other gaming accessories, a lot of laser cut stuff, which is super cool, as well as GameMat.eu, which makes some gorgeous resin terrain, as well as battle mats that you can use with the current size, the 9th edition size, and that's awesome. So check those guys out. Exclamation point sponsors in the chat if you want to take a look at those. And I appreciate everybody watching. We will be live tomorrow. I'm going to pull up the schedule here just to make sure I don't misspeak. We will be live tomorrow at... That's not the button I wanted to click on. Noontime Eastern Standard Time. So in about 12 hours from now, we're going to have Jonathan back on again against the flying Admech list with all the planes. I'm going to have Magikarp on with me that time, so that's going to be super exciting. And then also, as a simulcast for that one, we'll have Skowki playing White Scars versus Toothwire's Chaos. I think two of my favorite players probably in Group 1, and I am super excited to watch them play. So thanks, everyone, for watching.